Welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things 2024 and the Old World. I'm one of your hosts, Gomo. I'm joined by Andrew and Josh on the probably the last day of the year when people hear this, or first day of the year if it's in Australia. How's everyone going? We've finished a year.
The last episode
of the year. Yeah. That's good. Episode 73.
Just screwing up Gomo's intro there.
2 goes at that one. Doesn't matter. I might leave one in. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, we'll see.
You should definitely.
I can't believe I was going to bring this up. We've done our first full calendar year. Like, I know we've done well. You know, we're professionals now. We're over. I don't know. Well, 73 episodes. So I don't know how many weeks that is.
Are we professionals?
Yes,
doing the same thing at a certain level over and over again qualify us?
I don't want to make you have a big head here, but if you publish 21 episodes, you're in the top 1% of all podcasts in the world.
Wow.
See that G'd up?
That's right. So I don't know if that's professional in my book, and we've done over 3 times the amount of 21 numbers of episodes, whatever.
Right.
So I don't know which percentage that means we're in, but we're an elite company.
Yeah. And I can't imagine those episodes would be 2 hours. I imagine they'd be like half an hour long as well, like 2 hours for each one.
Yeah, wow. I might have to check that. Yeah, quantity over quality, hopefully.
Hopefully.
That's what people tune in for. Anyway, welcome. Thanks for coming along to another Old World Fanatics episode. Like I said, it's the end of the year, and we've done a whole Old World year, turned up every week, and chatted Old World. It's been awesome. So
we've not missed a week. There's some dedication. As you say. That takes us to the top 1% of podcasts in the world, apparently.
Easy. So last week we did sort of our Santa wish lists and stuff, and naughty and not wish list. What was it called? Naughties and nice lists and stuff. But this week it just makes sense. It's the end of the year. We're going into 2025. Obviously, Australia's delayed on Empire releases. We don't really have a lot. So we've gone, what are we going to see out of the year? So that's what we thought we'd chat today. Our 2025 predictions. We've got hobby campaign updates from Josh. A little bit of hobby from me. I'm not sure about Andrew yet. I haven't talked to him. Because he might. And then listener questions. And the listeners, some of our patrons also, a couple of them piped into our predictions. So we'll chat their predictions as well when we're chatting about ours. So there's plenty to chat about. And
we'll weave that in. Like the professionals we are, we'll weave it in seamlessly into our conversation.
I'm assuming people have more time on their hands to be painting, so they want more content to listen to.
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
Whilst they're not tuning into everyone else's Empire like reveals and Old World gameplay and stuff, we don't get any of it.
Once they're done with all the informative stuff, they can come here for some conversational therapy.
That's it.
That's right.
With 3 friends.
Cool. So before we kick into that, I will just give our usual shout out to our patrons who has helped us turn up every week, all during the 2024 year. Chat Old World. You can go and check them all out over at patreon.com/oldworldfanatics. Check out the tiers there, the private Discord channel, just help support the show. And you get a really cool, very long now, shout out from me and the team. And so we go through that. And if you want to be on that exclusive list, go and join the patrons. So a big thank you to Nick, Gran Vanderbush, Chris Bowler, Drunk Hammer Nate, Ben, Shooter Louie, Eugene Chaffor, Benoit, Edward Fawcett, Cam the Dentist, James McClellan, Liam Fallon, Tommy Kublin, Jay McBride, Flatworld's Edge, Sexy, Jelly, Herald of the Old World, Keel Hurd, David Dodge Lancaster, Tommy Dogs, Matthew Klein, Thumper, Matt Morris, Thomas Vavasow, Griff, Jess Tors, Wood Duck, Josh Griffiths, Nananum, Daniel Broadstock, Jonathan Wingler, Elliot Mitchum, keeps going, Gilthos Draconos, Diesel, Denny Gamer, William Payne, Robert Z, OG Whirler.
Yeah.
Isn't that we've already had?
Same. He's gone lazy.
He's on holidays.
He's on holidays.
The OG. I'll get onto it.
Unveiled.
You know what we really want is all the patrons to all the other patrons to change their name just next week to so OG Whirler's Soft as their nickname all the way down.
Oh,
And-
I think you were going to say for them all to change their names to OG Whirler, and then
I thought you could to
OG
make it
Whirler
easier,
over and over again, all the way down the list.
Yeah. Andrew Harris, Bobby Gurkin, Gubwitch, Sean Richard, Todd Lloyd, and Chapstick. So big thank you, guys and girls, I'm assuming. We've got a bunch of other free ones, but they're our paid members. So, yeah.
We can wish them Merry Christmas. Only the Patreons get that wish, by the way.
That's right. Merry Christmas. Happy New
Merry
Year's.
Christmas, guys.
And anything else you celebrate. If you don't want to do that, please jump on our YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, and add a comment to the current episode because we'd like to hear from you guys. With that, I'll just quickly do another shout out. It's in the link description, and I again forgot to put it in the thing, and I point around and still forget to do it. Our Throne of Skulls giveaway. So if you are in the UK, there is a video to go watch. Competition to enter if you want a free ticket to the February, what was it? Now I can't remember. 22? I can't remember.
I have no idea.
Anyway.
So
go check that out. I'm assuming Empire is available to go play in that too. So you can really take some cool characters with some really dumb magic items. So that's the competition. I'm not ripping off Empire. I'm assuming there's some cool other dumb magic items to wield at the Throne of Skulls with your free ticket. So go check that out because it will close in 2 weeks. I think we're going to do stream in 2 weeks. Is that right?
Oh,
potentially.
2 weeks. Yeah, I think that was the plan. Yeah.
Now, I think I've said it in 2 weeks now, so I better do it. Not
it is
sure.
the 22nd.
We were hoping on a Christmas crossover, New Year's crossover next week, and I haven't done any prep. So I might have to ask the other podcasters for listening to this. Other podcasters in Australia, we did say we might get together on the 6th or something in Jan, so it's coming pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll chat to some of them. It's going to be hard to wrangle people in summer holidays.
Yeah, so hard. Yeah. We've got more chance next week than we had last week.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, totally.
But yeah, it's definitely the 22nd and the 23rd of Feb is the Throne of Skulls.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's get on to the show. Those patrons send us questions. We actually ask them 2 questions because we asked them about just the usual send in some questions for the week, but we also did ask for predictions. So we'll do the predictions. As I said, we'll mix that in later. We've just got a couple of questions. I think Josh is going to
weave it in. Yeah.
kick that off.
I can do that. So 2 questions. So Plasman asks, any third-party miniatures you guys would like to spruik or shout out for fantasy? More on the value side of things rather than bespoke metal or resin heroes, of which there are, he says of which there are plenty, although are there? Things like the Kings of War plastic rank and file, great for budgeted zombies and skellies. Warm Games Atlantic Ogres or the Shield Wolf minis, plastic forest goblins.
Oh yeah,
Question mark.
they are good. I got those. They're good.
They do. Shield Wolf do
thoughts?
do they just do other stuff other than goblins? Do they do orcs too? Something tells me.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I got their what do you call it? Kickstarter.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
And yeah, I didn't go shopping for anything else. I just saw it and I was like, I like forest goblins. Yeah. And you know how there aren't really any forest goblins. They're just like a very GW-esque model.
Old 4th, 5th edition.
Oh, really? They fit
the weren't they? If I'm thinking of the right ones.
Yeah, kinda. They've got that. You know how they're like a bit beefy, like they kind of like got the big hands, big heads. Yeah, but like a modern twist with the old school vibe. But I will give a shout out.
Right aesthetic.
Yes. Oh God, I just forgot. Oh no, I was literally thinking about it when we started talking about it.
It'll come back. It'll come back.
It's gonna be so annoying. They got my Slayers. They do my Slayers. Oh, I love
you're thinking Avatars?
Avatars War. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I love some of their dwarf stuff. Especially the Slayers. I think they do a really good Slayer.
Yeah, they now. Can you still buy the plastic kits of them, or are they sort of all gone?
I think they've transitioned as far as I'm aware.
Because, like, I guess Josh is going to say the same thing as me, that you probably don't. Your miniatures now are the STL providers rather than who's creating cheap plastic rank and file.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've seen them in the shop, but I don't know if that's old stock, so I'm not sure.
I just noticed I've left my overhead lights on, and if I'm like here, I go really white, even though I'm already white. And then if I go over here, so sorry if my head's changing color for some reason. It must be weird lighting. Anyway, sorry.
So
keep it professional, Gobbo. I do have one other suggestion though, because I don't really look for minis much because I'm looking for SCLs usually. But one of the companies that I still occasionally purchase from because I really like their minis, and unfortunately it's not really what Plasma was asking because they're not plastic, they are metal. But the Claymore castings, plastic sort of 100 Years War era type stuff they've got really works nicely as for the Bretonnians. Like I've got a whole unit for them for the men at arms, and that's what I used for the archers when I was painting those earlier this year.
That's not the same as those Firestorm, Fire something games, Fireforge games. Had like
Fireforge.
Looking, was it Fireforge? Yeah.
No, it's a different company to that. Okay. But yeah, Fireforge, that's actually a good shout because they are a good sub for Brett's, a Fireforge in general. But yeah,
and like the Perry miniatures, like some of those are historic. Again, you're only on the Bretts and maybe Empire, but there is a few plastics like that. I don't know if they're still doing plastics now. No idea, but
they are. They've got some good plastic kits. They're not really heroic scale, the Perry stuff. So they're a bit more true scale. But if you were making an army out of them, it would work nicely. Yeah. I mean, the good thing with those. The armies, there's a lot of options for historical stuff that would work perfectly fine.
With those ones, because I know the other one would be like the Game of Thrones one that came out. That was all plastics as well. I don't know if you could use them. No idea. But
it
was a Kickstarter.
Cool Mini or Not Kickstarter. A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
No. It's way too big. It's like 38 mil scale or something. They're actually really quite large. I've got some. I played it. They're actually way bigger.
I did buy it too, and then I sold it. I didn't even open it. That was back when I was just buying Kickstarters. Why did I do this for? Because it turns up like a year later or something. You go, not even playing tabletop anymore. Like I'd stopped playing 8th, and I'm just going to sell this. And I literally opened the actual packaging box, and then went, oh, that's a lot of stuff, and then just closed it. And then put it on eBay and sold it. So I didn't actually open them.
Did you break even on that transaction?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, pretty much. Didn't cost me anything. It was just not too bad.
I've done the same thing as you, except I've never actually got around to selling it. So I've got this quite large box sitting under my house of I forget. It was a role-playing board game. I forget the name of it now. Similar to I don't remember that one.
We're so good with the names.
Sort of similar to Gloomhaven, but it was but I spent several $100 on this Kickstarter. It's quite a large box, and I never got around to using it. Now it's just sitting under my house. I feel like I should.
There was another one that was sort of vampire undead versus like humans. I can't remember what that one was. There was another type of game like that. That I did end up selling that one, but I was very close to using it.
The Sword and Sorcery. They had a new release. That was what it was.
That was good. I don't know. Again, I don't know because I've just gone 3D printing now. I don't know what's available now as such. Obviously, Kings of War was awesome, but is it still? I don't know. As in, if you just print figures. Like, would you still recommend getting, say, Kings of War zombies? You know what I mean? Or would you just go, 3D print stuff?
Depends if you have a 3D printer or not.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. But I mean, even now, you can buy the 3D printers off someone else. You know what I mean? Like, you just
well, absolutely. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you could do either one. Either way, it says to pay someone to supply with your minis.
Yeah.
Just depends on what you like them more. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Kings of War minis. They look okay as well, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, they do.
But yeah. Shall I do the next question?
Yeah.
Sure.
This one's a funny one. I don't even know.
Yeah. Miss Junk asks, I like this question too.
Yeah.
Who's the saltiest of the three of you when you lose?
I wouldn't even know that because you have to. You assume if you don't say yourself that you're judging other people. So
you gotta hide it. You gotta hide the salt. Like, oh, congratulations, mate.
Well, I'm more trying to think of games between us. Isn't that the best way of working it out? Is like when we've lost against each other, who's been more
I just don't think we've
upset
ever played
about it
competitively, and the ones that we've landed. I don't think I've ever played Andrew in a tournament. Have I?
No, I don't think we have a dummy spit. I've never, you know, when people just kind of like have a dummy spit, bit of a dummy spit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely played some salty people before.
It's about us three, though. The question is, which one are you?
Yeah, I know, but yeah. I mean, people probably think I'm salty as well. I'd put myself in a salty situation, a loss. Depends on who it is. I'd say out of 10 being a complete dummy spit, and 1 being like you're really, really gracious. I'd say.
I think Jay might be. I don't think this question is just when we play each other, is it?
I think just in general.
It is just in general. It's not about plays. I just feel like when we're judging each other's saltiness, I feel like it's best judged by playing each other and remembering our reactions.
Yeah.
I am thinking back because I've played both of you in tournament settings.
Yeah.
More than once.
More
both of you. 9th age, 8th ed.
That is true.
I mean, and neither of you are salty, like at all. Like I enjoy playing with you. But if I had to choose who would be more likely, like on the saltiness ranking,
I love this.
I feel like I give it to Andrew. I reckon maybe he hides it more, but I feel like he's feeling saltier.
I'm smiling, but I'm dead inside.
He's probably got more to lose because he's actually chance of winning.
I feel like Gomo just throws in the towel and then stops caring, and so he just doesn't get salty. He's just like, I don't care, whatever. I feel like that's a difference.
Some of the games I think I have played both of you guys, especially at my place, a lot when I was just playing orcs a bit, and sometimes it was either very swingy. I felt like I'd get in and do something good, otherwise they just fall over. And so by then I was like, doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know.
That's really much.
Trying to think but what's the saltiest game I've played? There was a game again with my orcs and my mate had come and watched. That was down. Remember when I think you were there, Josh, when we went down to Good Games in the city? Were you at that tournament?
Yeah. When the three of us went down together.
But not the Chatswood one, when we went into the city, that one. And I said,
I think we've only done one
or something
where the three of us went together.
It was a 2-dayer. I must have just gone by myself. Actually, I think I did because I stayed at my mate's. But another friend, not the guy I stayed with, someone else, he came as well and watched. And my orcs it was one of those games where, it was like, for example, Foot just totally went through my army, and not first time you rolled the dice, you rolled it. I can't remember what it was. Was it a 6 or a 1 or whatever? And that means they could then choose, and then remember how the old Foot would work? Like you'd get one go at it, it would scatter or something. I can't remember. And then you'd roll the dice, and if you got I can't remember. Geez, people remember. Whatever it was, there was a chance you could just stomp again, but if you rolled a 1 or a 6, whichever way, then they could stomp, and then they could keep doing it. And he just fully stomped all the way down, like multiple stomps on my army. And I was just like, it's just like what?
Okay, yeah.
It's just typical orc.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Trying to be nice there, but I was like, I think that might have been against one of the Gronks. It was funny. Yeah.
So that's the biggest salt you felt.
Yeah.
That was
I was a bit. I probably was a bit like trying to hold it together. Yeah.
Oh shit.
There we know. We've got it. We'll see who gets saltier by the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, that's Andrew. Andrew wins the salty
award.
We
need like a salt jar when you feel salt.
Yeah, I don't think there's no way Josh ever gets salty. Have you ever? That's a good question. Have you had a game where you've got like?
Well, I don't know.
Or was an opponent's saltiness made you salty? You know what I mean? Like when you do run into an annoying person, you're just like, fuck you then. Yeah.
I have, maybe I have had that kind of thing happen. But it's really rare for me to get really genuinely upset about anything. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know. That's for others to judge. I don't have any particular stories about being salty though.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question for if we do a podcast crossover of all the other people. They have to answer that question. Maybe that's what we do for the topics. We go through our Patreon questions and find good like ones we've answered in the last 6 months and get the other podcasts to answer them as well. That'd be fun. Some of the other dudes. I feel like some of the other ones would have a fair bit of saltiness sometimes. Some of the guys who actually have something to play for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Well, are we making good time or not? I do have a quiz here, but we don't have to do it. We can jump into hobby if you guys want. What do you want to do?
Is this a Sean quiz or is this
the ones that no one knows the answers to?
No. That's right. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just cleaning my screen here.
All right.
Just to finish out the year and see if you guys have learned any more Warhammer.
So can we do it like we do the Sean's quiz, where you do one question and get the answer for it, just so it's easier for people to follow along?
Probably.
Or can we not quite easily do it without revealing all the answers?
Don't know. Let me close your eyes. Yeah, no, I can.
Yeah, nice.
We can do it.
Because I think it's definitely better for
Jordan's going to finish off the year with some pain, is he?
Jordan,
okay.
Yep.
Quiz time. Here we go.
Actually, you know what I had up last week, but it's too hard to do. I was going to try to do it. I don't know if you saw this. Jordan actually released a Warhammer crossword puzzle as well. I was like, that'd be cool to do, but it was too hard to do it online.
Yeah.
That would not be good audio podcast.
Yeah, I can't imagine that'd be good audio.
Just picture it's got one black square. Probably not going to work.
7 across, 7 letters across, and then 10 up. Then it's joining the third letter of the crossword.
Anyway, year come to an end, but quiz never stop. Here we go. Number 1. Which of these Games Workshop accessories was released first? A, I can't say that word, Minotaurum tape measure. B, the squig dice. I've seen them. They're those red, ugly, oblongy looking
I've not seen the squig dice.
C, Citadel Realm of Battle. And D, Storm of Magic Vortex templates.
Storm of Magic.
So A is 40k. Hey, Minotaurum is 40k.
Yeah.
Sure.
I guess, yeah.
Squig dice.
I'm not familiar with these squig dice. Oh, sorry, I can see them at the bottom there. Yeah, right.
Oh, are they there? Oh, there they are. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Here we are. Sorry, we brought them up for people who are listening to these. So you've got like this cool skull tape measure.
Oh, that's completely different to what I was picturing. Yeah, actually,
and then, the squig dice are like
tape measure coming in.
They cannot be legally like rolling proper numbers, those squig dice, but they look cool. The Realm of Battle boards, where you could never keep figures on. And then the
on the dice would just bounce off. Like, it was just awesome.
Horrendous sound. You know, like how good a sound is when you're playing on one of the good mats. That was the opposite. These ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
awful.
And
then the Storm of Magic Vortex templates. I feel like I'm guessing here because I'm only familiar with the Realm of Battle. That's the only thing I've heard of these 4 options.
It is quite old, the old Realm Battle boards. But
yeah, but it'd be in that 6th ed realm, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it wasn't pre.
Old as well.
Yeah, I feel like.
But the vortexes are a bit old too.
But that would be 6th ed as well, wouldn't it?
I'm guessing so.
Is Storm of Magic 6 or was it into 7th? Do you guys remember? I can't remember. I'm going to say it's A.
Yeah, I'm thinking
something tells me that they started, because I don't know if you watched that interview with one of the dudes who was he ran that department, talking about stuff, and I just feel like they probably played around with the tape measure first, but I don't know. Might not be true.
I'm going to go Realm of Battle just for fun.
Cool. Ooh. Okay, so we're going to go and look at that then, hey?
Yep,
so I'll go slow, because once you get to the bottom, they're in separate lines. So let me just... Here's the answers. Oh, you're right.
Oh, yes.
Realm of Battle was released. The Vortex templates that's 2008. Vortex templates 2011.
Sweet.
The tape measure was 2012. Squigdos 2019. Geez, that's almost COVID.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, that was semi-recent, those Squig Dogs.
Yeah, okay. Wow. Okay, cool.
That
Was
like
that 40K or AOS or just everything?
Yeah, Age of Sigma.
Right, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. They were coming out with
right.
all the new squigs and stuff.
Cool. Question 2. Which of these was a real 1985 limited edition Citadel miniature? A, Twisted Blaster. B, Van Goblin. C, Guns and Noses. Or D, Motley Maniac. Oh.
Guns and Noses. Motley
Twisted
Maniac.
Blaster, Van Goblin, Guns and Noses, Motley Maniac.
Do any of those sound familiar?
Nah, I'm just going to go
Van Goblin? I feel like Van Goblin might be a thing. I'm going to go
just trying to work out, because they're all American, aren't they? Any of those British? The singers? Well, bands?
Yeah, maybe not. Don't know.
Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. Is that Van Gogh, though? Van Gogh? Or was that Van Halen? What do you reckon the Van?
I think it'll be Van Halen.
Must be if it's
But then
Van.
what's Twisted? Twisted. Is there a band? 80s band? Like a...
But yeah, it must be.
These are all like hair metal bands.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's why it's A. What are you going, Andrew? I've got an A and a B so far.
I got D.
Motley Maniac. Nice.
It is D, the Motley Maniac.
Oh,
Also called
nice.
Death Jester. Oh, it's the Death Jester. That's the like the what's it called? The elder dude, isn't it?
Elder.
Death Jester. Yeah. Sculpted by Bob Naismith and released in 1985 as LE1. Oh, he's pretty cool though. Let's have a look what he looks like. If this comes up. Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. But wow. Interesting. Sorry, people who are listening. He looks like a 1985 miniature.
It's not bad for 1985.
Yeah,
I give it a goof rating.
Yeah.
That's a goof.
3. Which of these is a character from Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay and not a current or former member of the US government? A, Lloyd Smucker. B, Dutch Rupersberger? Rupersberger, is it? C, Marionette Miller Meeks. D, Bertoldo Vasari. Wow. Okay, that's... So 3 of these, it's more crazy that 3 of these are members or former members
Yeah,
of the
it's
US
crazy
government.
that 3 of
Lloyd
these
Smucker, Dutch Rupersberger, Marionette Miller Meeks, Bertoldo Vasari.
And like I gotta say, I think Bertoldo Vasari actually sounds a little bit Chilean.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's got to be the one. The other 3 names are just absolutely ridiculous. But I just can't see them in a Warhammer universe.
The only one I thought was B, Dutch Rupersberger.
Yeah, I was going to go B.
You're going to go B? Okay, I'm going to go D.
Okay. Well, I originally was thinking B, so I'm going to go B too. And
yep. Right.
I have none right so far. Let's have a look here. D. Lloyd Smucker is a Pennsylvania congressman. Dutch Rupersberger is a Maryland congressman. Marionette Miller Meeks is a congresswoman. So Bertoldo Vasari featured in Richard Halliwell's Alden Huller contract scenario in the Wolfrup rulebook. It's actually in the rulebook.
Nice.
Obviously, I have read that. Haven't read that in a while. Oh, Josh, how many have you got? 2, 3?
2.
Jeez,
yeah.
I'm on none.
Do it.
4. As of November 1985, which of these is not the name of a Chaos Warrior from the C-35 Citadel range? Do you guys know what the C-35 Citadel range is?
No.
No.
Something
A,
old.
Rough, Tough and Buff. B, Jaggle Spur. C, Nud Spine Spittle. Or D, Count Metal Mane. Oh man, he's getting the bottom. Oh, these are way too hard now. No idea.
Go A.
I'm gonna go C because I've got everything else wrong. So I'm
going to go A as well. Rough, tough, and buff.
A and C. Let's go. Question 4 is A.
Yes.
Tough and Buff was not the
Buff.
name of a Citadel Chaos Warrior, but I think we can all agree that it should be. Oh, there you go.
Okay, sure.
And then Monsters. Here we go. Which artist illustrated the cover for the Games Workshop RuneQuest supplement Monsters, which again, if you're listening to this, sorry, you can't see it, but it looks like a dragon eating is that a chimera or a
chimera? Yeah.
Must be a chimera, is it?
It's got the scorpion tail. Yeah, it's a chimera.
Yeah, doesn't have wings, so. Okay, it's John Blanche, Will Reese, Richard Dolan, or Dave Gallagher. RuneQuest. I don't think it looks John Blanche-ish enough, does it? Or does it?
Not really. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know who else to pick of the other three.
I'm going to see again because I don't know. I'm going to get all these wrong if I get this wrong. Wow. 0 of 5 if it's not C for me. What are you guys going?
I kind of I'm tempted by Richard Dolan too, so I'm going to go C as well.
I'll go D just to do something different.
Cool.
Okay.
And it is Dave Gallagher provided the classic.
Oh, nice.
That reason I didn't go Dave because it just seemed obvious then. I was like, well, if it's not John Blanche, they're the only two names I recognised.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I'm 0. I think.
gone
What
for
did you get,
Dave
Andrew?
Gallagher.
Like 3 or 4 or something?
No, 3.
3. Wow. Very good. You guys just smashed these. Maybe you must help Jordan write them.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go on to some hobby. What did you get up to, Andrew? With your travels.
With my travels. Well, my traveling has brought me, it was a bit of a fellowship of the family. It's going for a bit of a quest. But yeah, in my off time, I've managed to put together about 17.
Sort of got that way too late, but now I see what you're saying.
Hobgrots. That's a shit joke. About 17 hobgrots. So yeah, they're growing. I think I've got about 100 maybe at home, like total. So yeah, I've got to get for my list if we go through it later. For the upcoming tournament, I need 40 maybe.
What's with the chaos? Because you do see them in the Chaos Dwarf armies. What's their main purpose? Like, are you doing a block of 40 with a poison banner, or is it like just chaff? Or like, what do they use?
They're 3 points each. So that's what I'm taking.
Yeah,
them.
Right.
So yeah, you can take block of 20 for 60. So,
like, do they do anything? They got short bows or something.
Got short bows, so you can swap the shield.
Fanatics.
So basically, no fanatics. I mean, they've got your normal like horde levies, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
They do have like a backstab rule, but they're not going to be using that. To me, it's just like a cheap little flanker to go up. And we need banners, and none of my stuff has got banners. So these guys have got banners.
Maybe they can hang around then and there, going last. Yeah.
I think it's a good flanking unit. It's not going to be able to take on anything big, but usually down the flanks, people send, they will need some support. But
they're infantry, aren't they? Or these the dudes on. Yeah.
Yeah. But they got their short bows, I think,
Yeah.
They should be able to take on most stuff. That's that chaffy or, that throwaway 100-point unit. I think they'll be able to hold their own against, I don't know. I was trying to work that out. If you took, just per se, if you had like a little block of 5 Bretonnian Knight Errants, I was trying to work out who would win between the two of them. 20, because you're going to get like a stand and shoot. You might even get a shoot in there, a stand and shoot, possibly. And yeah, I was just trying to work out. You might pick off 1 or 2 on the way in, and then a little bit wide.
Yeah. And the Errants aren't that punchy.
Yeah. Because they're weapon skill 3 as well, so they're a little bit better than your standard goblin. But we'll see how they go.
Yeah, so then the Errants will only be hitting on 4s because they're on their weapon skill 3 as well.
Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how we go. But it's one of those things. It's like I was going to put them in a wide block, but if you got Warband and Horde and whatnot, you kind of want them in a little block of 20, like a 5x4 sort of formation.
Well, especially now on the flanks, because what's their leadership? Pretty average.
6 or something.
Yeah. And Warband reroll with charge, so you could probably chance you can get a fairly large charge. Well, like for infantry.
Yeah.
So but you're not going to get a charge on errants though and all that, are you?
Nah. Well, we can go into that if and when we do the list, because that was that 20 versus 40 block. I'm like, well, what do you want to go for? Anyway, that's a conversation for later. What did you guys get up to?
I was just talking about that. I was just looking at did we ever go through? Maybe we can catch if we can catch up on your list later, because we probably should go through the actual Old Hammer pack too, because we went a bit through CanCon, but we haven't done the pack.
We did a whole pack
for CanCon.
Yeah, right. No, we should absolutely do that.
So I just found
it'd be helpful to have the context of what you're building these lists for and what you're worried about banners for. Because I'm like,
exactly.
What's these banners? What are you guys talking about?
What rules are they following? Like these new since Throne of Skulls, it's interesting to see the new rules coming out for other tournaments. They seem to be adopting the GW
so that's really good. That's
really
let's catch up on
but that rule is so blunt.
Maybe after the preview. Maybe we do it near the end. People can hang out for some more list discussions at the end.
Spicy
I don't know what Andrew's going to do about his phone, because he has to bring his phone over and it's currently hanging off a door handle.
No. I've got the list downloaded in that PDF. I can bring up the
it's
PDF.
on the actual thing. Yeah, but we just need to bring it up for you. Is that right? Or whatever. I don't know. You're on the
well, I might be able to share screen and zoom in on the said PDF.
Cool. Okay, all good. I'll go. Sorry, I'm going to go next because Josh is going to finish off his hobby with a topic catching up on the campaign. Nice. Is that correct, Josh? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
My hobby's pretty quick, but I did so 2 episodes in a row we have forgotten to discuss a piece of news or a leak that came out, and I wanted to get Josh's opinion on it because we keep forgetting about it. Twice I've not brought it up, even though I've had it here in the thing. Cecil Gaston, the Worm Slayer figure, which got, leaked like weeks ago, and we've just had so many different leaks in Empire, and then I kept forgetting to bring it up, and then I just want to get your, as a Bretonian person, and I just wanted to get your. I can't really zoom that one in, and unfortunately, by now everyone knows what it is. It's obviously
it's been around for a while, eh?
He's got some what is it, a Worm Slayer sword or something, and he's basically like a Monster Slayer, but he's an infantry dude. So you're like, cool.
Yeah, he's a counter to monsters, and but he's on foot. So it's like,
so if he could join Flagellants, then
I was thinking that. Yeah, I was thinking how good it'd be.
So do you guys listen to?
Yeah, he's in the Arcane Journal. He's a special character.
Yeah.
So he's one of the other ones too that if you skim through and look at the illustrations, there's a picture of him and he looks like that. So again, probably would be worth some homework to go through and find every illustration of every character that's not actually an old 8th edition or earlier image, and that's probably a figure we're getting at some point. It feels like. I was listening to, now I can't remember the name, but I feel bad. Sean, one of our patrons, put us onto it. The Motley Crew, a Canadian podcast. Hope you guys listen to them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they were chatting about this guy and reminded everyone that you basically make this guy out of the night. You don't have the night box, do you? The Knights on Foot,
no,
dude. Okay. So apparently that comes with a
what are you laughing about, Josh?
shield, and even comes with a dragon helm like that. You can pretty much make your own version of this dude out of the plastic kit. It's kind of funny.
I mean, it's funny, but it's only possible because they haven't actually gone that overboard with this guy in comparison. I don't know. Like he's relatively simple for this era of Bretonian Knights, I think. So,
do you think he was totally designed around the same time as the plastic Knight kit then, like as well, like, or do you reckon they were done ages ago, like I said, and then they just wanted a special character, so they sort of based him because he would look good in that unit for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know if he was done later. He could well have been done around the same time because I feel like the Arcane Journal would have been available for them to plan around. So maybe they did make him. Or maybe
really
they wrote
hope-
the Arcane Journal based on this character. They just someone made this character and then they were like, let's make a special character for this model.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could have been either way.
Yeah. The good thing
but
is
it looks good.
Yeah, I really hope that at some point infantry, like they do enough jiggling with the rules, and again, predictions we won't get into, that make infantry great again to the point where, because like even the black, like, you know, I've got that cool Black Orc model.
May I?
We've got the
infantry
Flappy
great again.
Hands. I found Flappy Hands. He's in my cupboard. I found him. You know, I
Amiga.
knew I bought him. So there's a lot of cool infantry figures. You know, like the first couple of figures we got revealed at the that Warhammer event was infantry dudes. You know, it was like that that infantry knight guy and whatever else was. Can't remember what it was, but one of the Tombkin dudes, and you just don't even you don't see them. Those figures are just non-existent in the game, which is sad. So and even
sad.
things like I've got the Cetras, you know, what's his name, the Herald guy, not the Herald, but, you know, like the Cetra's second, you know, his little sidekick dude. You could use him for lots of things, but you just don't because you're not really bringing that many, which is a bit sad. So
it is.
Yeah, they're doing all this good work with these resin miniatures. We're not seeing them, so hopefully it happens. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because we had missed it time and time again. But anyway. Cool. And look, I did get started on, I cleaned my hobby area up, even though it doesn't look like, and I'm still smashing away on
That looks relatively clean. What are you talking about?
Chariots. Yeah,
that's really clean.
Well, the only dirty bit is that's my daughter dropping a big Black Legion contrast paint on the table. But anyway, it's all good. Yeah, that's right. She also spilled.
You're not a real painter until you've done that.
What's the Liberator Gold? She spilt that, and it's out of stock. Friggin', I don't know what they're doing, but at least back then, about a month or two ago, it was out of stock everywhere. And I used that as a highlight for my Tomb Kings. I was like, I need one just when I want one. Ended up having to fight. Like there was one available at some, I don't know, hobby store in, you know, somewhere in Australia, and I bought it. I think the paint was like, what's the Citadel pop these days? I don't know, it's probably like $12 or something, but it was like $10 postage as well. It was something like that. I was better just buy it just so I've got it. But
really? Did you not try to look for other things to buy from that vendor so you could justify the postage?
I was going to
end up with like an $80 bill.
Yeah. That's the thing. Gambler's fallacy. Yeah, I was like, I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound. But I just went, bugger it, buy it, and I've got it. But anyway, that's I had 4 of these Avatar of War chariots, and then I was about to play a game on the weekend, and unfortunately, Cam the dentist, I had to rain check on him because we had friends over for lunch, and then it just went on to dinner, and I was having a game with him 9 in the morning, and I just knew by 6 that I was not going to be getting up and going and play Warhammer at 9 o'clock in the morning because we'd started. We stay in the pool, and I just said, "Sorry, Cam, I'm rain checking. I'm not."
UGNTs.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we didn't get a game in. But when I was that Sunday after lunch, I was like, "Oh, I'll print out another," because I wanted actually another one. I printed 4 other chariots of a different make, and I don't know, they just don't look as sort of good and dynamic and stuff. Even though the paint job here isn't finished and doesn't look that great there, but they look a lot better, these Avatars of War ones. So I went, "Oh bugger, I'll just print another one," and also printed. And I don't think I've got it zoomed in. No, a little goblin on a wolf. Excuse me. Which is hard to see there, but the wolf's got like a skeleton carapace thing around it and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah,
cool.
It does.
So I'm gonna paint him up as well.
Is that a big old helmet he's got on?
Nah, it's almost you get 5 heads with him. I've got I put it's almost like a night goblin hooded head on him. Yeah, he's hard to see there because all that white. I haven't obviously finished him yet, but he'll come up okay, I think. Yeah, and one of the chariots I started, the one on the right there has got 3 wolves. I started printing the 3rd wolf version just to sort of try that out. But that's when I actually sent you, Josh, or both you guys, the question that my printer, because I've been printing this thing for my daughter.
Yeah.
Let me ring. I finally got one of them out because I've been trying to print these 2 arcane figures of Caitlin, and one of them I just have given up printing because whatever I do with the body just doesn't print. Tried hollowing all this crap anyway. This girl printed except for her left elbow, and the right leg always was like chopped off and just half done. And I don't know. And I tried supporting it, and anyway, I sorted it out. Except the right leg, I green stuffed a bit, so she's got a bit of a club foot. I was over like putting 3 versions of the foot on the build plate and doing stuff with it, and still having it not 100% right. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, when I did this, the next print I did, just hardly anything came out, including like the chariots and everything. I was like, what the, like, what is wrong with my? Like, I'd changed the FEP on it, did everything, and I don't know. My hypothesis, which is probably right, is there must have been something on some of these bits that I did do for her that didn't print, and I didn't realize. And because I remember checking
it's possible.
I checked the FEP with the little tool, like, and because it looked right, everything looked like it printed. But now in hindsight, I'm like, shit, maybe one of them didn't print because I printed like 3 elbows just to make sure one came out. And so there could have been something on that FEP because the avatar's walls are printed perfectly. So I fully cleaned it, did it again, and they all printed out. So I'm like, oh, phew, there's probably nothing. Like the whole problem has probably been, I don't know, these prints, I don't know. They've supported, but they mustn't be, as good as some of the ones that we use for our stuff, Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just weird because the left leg prints fine
for
and the right leg, you know what I should have done? Fuck, I'm a dumb idiot. It wouldn't
Just
probably
mirror
work
the
totally.
leg?
Mirror the left leg.
I was going to say.
But it's technically not the same. But it would probably look better than a club foot.
Yeah, two left feet, but one of them mirrored, so it's all right.
Why do I struggle to remember this stuff? Anyway, doesn't matter.
That's funny.
Even if I could have cut the foot off and just it probably would have worked. Anyway,
it would have, if you just slice off just the foot, and then
I'll see what you want. It's not actually. I could
usually
actually
mesh mixer or something.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's done for her, and then and as a result, I got the airbrush out and did all that and airbrushing all my figures, and I airbrushed the
lovely,
what's it called, the mana ready to go. So I'll start getting into it.
Fortified,
the fortified mana, because it's been sitting there on my table just black, and I'm like, time to. That's a bad picture. I just took it out. It's inside one of my cupboards, and I went, need something to show for hobby. But yeah, it's zenithal, so hopefully I will start the process of painting it at some point. Get it out as well.
Yeah, it'd be
but
good.
yeah,
What's a nice
I mean,
feeling,
technically, I've got the 5 chariots, a goblin dude on a wolf, and a giant to do for that tournament in 18 days. So. We will see how we go.
Are you going to borrow my giant?
So that's my back out. If I can't, so the giant's last on the list because if I can't get it done, I'll have to fall back to using your giant.
Oh, it's a beautiful giant. It is. It's lovely.
So, but I mean, I've got one that's uncoated. It's started throwing some contrast on it like a year ago, and I'm like, I probably wouldn't be that hard to get it done, but we will see.
Just got to stop printing other stuff, you got to focus on just getting stuff painted up. Not much time left.
Yeah. Well, I haven't touched that other programming, that tournament software. That's just been, this time of year is crazy. Like a week, you're technically off.
This is Friday. Yeah, I'm like, I'm
oh shit, is it? Yeah, okay. Oh, bloody hell. Well, we have to sort this out.
Yeah, I haven't painted anything. Like I've painted hardly anything.
Yeah, I mean, technically you don't need to. You get shafted for points, isn't it? It's.
I hate being that guy rocking up a tournament. Like,
I don't think people care at the moment, especially if it's a new army. Like, as a new army for you, you know what I mean?
But I feel the high elves will do quite well. I reckon Chaos Dwarves are in a good spot. Unfortunately,
I want you to take because I want to play against them. I haven't played against them. Well, I played against them in 8th, but that was not a lot. I think it was like 2 Chaos Dwarf players I knew. And so it'd be cool to have them different army on the table on the channel.
Yes. definitely.
Cool, Josh. What have you been getting up to?
Yep. All right. I mean, in terms of actual painting stuff, probably not really that much because, this time of year. I did have a little bit of stuff done that I've done today, but I'll get into that. Mainly, I was doing the campaign yesterday.
Cool.
Round 4, month 4. Actually had, I mean, I wasn't expecting many people to turn up because it's like it's 4 days after Christmas. Not the worst weekend because it could have been worse if it was the weekend before Christmas. But,
or Christmas like the Monday or something. Yeah, it's good.
It's my little boys there, isn't it? I mean, my little boys.
Little dwarves. So I still had 3. One other guy couldn't turn up. Just couldn't turn up late notice. But 3 other guys turned up, so I still had 2 games, which is nice. Can't complain about that. And yeah, I had the first pick. So basically, it was me, who was attacking or exploring first. Then we had Will, the guy, Wood Elves. Ash was in with his dwarves, but I had Hugh playing with his empire, who hadn't participated in the campaign up to this point. So he was in as a roaming vagrant. So I picked first, and I was really wanting to go into the ruins. So I wanted something to happen, in the ruins. So I just like, yep, I'm going to explore this. And then Ash, because he went second, he contested my exploration, so he went into the ruins with me. And then where was the other? Let's see if I can find it.
There's my voice.
And then the other.
Look at the cool.
And then so Will explored the
It's so good.
One of the village next to a port, and then yes, I had Hugh ambush him in that tile. Yeah, so I've got a Hellblaster on there.
That's so good.
I finally around and painted this stuff up. The Hughes one I only just printed and primed and painted like just a few days ago.
Because you knew know he was coming then? Like
yeah.
Or you just would okay, cool. Yeah.
No. It's only because I knew it was coming. I haven't done done them for like one for every army.
Do you think you've probably printed the smallest and painted the smallest ever Warhammer figures in the world?
Ooh.
I think I have a fair claim to that. I
reckon you might. You definitely would be in the top 0.1%. Hey,
for sure. If we're talking about,
should ask Game Circle if they keep track of this, but they
stats again.
Reminds me of like.
I mean,
Warmaster scales for rookies.
Well, have you guys seen the Japanese fishing where they go out with like the little miniature fishing rods and the little tiny hooks? And it's all about catching the smallest fish. It's not the biggest.
That's a Japanese thing to do.
So they go out with this tiny little rods, this tiny line, and this little mini hook, and they catch these little microfish, and whoever gets the smaller fish wins. It's like that. That's gold.
That sounds amazing. I'd love
you could
look into that.
So I'm just totally derailing your hobby time here, but you could like play a full massive Warhammer game on like a Blood Bowl size table. Hey? Like way even smaller than that, probably with that scale.
Even small, yeah, it would be.
It's probably an A4
even
sheet.
Smaller, quite easily. Yeah, probably A5. I reckon A5 sheet this would fit on. That's an army. And you have fun, trying to remove each individual figure when you take casualties, right? Such a practical, it's a practical size for that. There's a reason Warmaster is based on essentially that base size for a unit. I mean, I'm sure people have done 2 mil scale Warhammer, but then it's no longer, you can't see the figure then. So I would argue, this is probably the smallest you can go, where you're still actually able to paint and recognize an individual person. With a weapon and armor and all that kind of thing. Yes, thank you.
They're 3 centimeters, those tiles, are they? The army tops? about?
I think they're 2.5 centimeters long
Like an
and
inch.
1.3 centimeters deep.
Yeah.
So they're pretty small. They're pretty micro.
Boggles the mind. That's
I mean sorry, that's the base for the army. Like the tiles in the back on the underlying.
The base
if you're asking me. The base of the army is of that size. No, it takes some effort to paint these things up. And to be honest, I do use contrast a bit, and then I shade it, but then I'm actually getting into layer paints to give more depth to it, because the contrast, I don't know, just doesn't quite work for me as well. So the layer paints actually gives me a nice sort of vibrancy that I'm not getting with the
contrast.
Yeah, I'm sort of doing that, but the contrast kind of goes everywhere. It's not accurate enough to paint these things in a way that looks nice. And then I do a bit of shade to give it some depth. But then it's actually going back to the layer paints that brings a lot more vibrancy and gets the colors going in a way that you want, and then you can control it a lot better. So I'm just trying to get the heads and maybe the shields and and then I'll go back to the no, I haven't got this one. I haven't got it on. I was doing the high elf one the other day as well, and like it's got these blue banners, and I did what's called freehand on the blue banners, where I just did a splotch of white, just bloop. And at this scale, it actually looks fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll see if I can get the photo up later. Anyway, I guess that was my hobby. Part of it was because I was doing those earlier this week, just in preparation for this game. Now, so this is I won't go into the games really, because I would want to do that on the 6 Hour podcast a bit more. But
when are you doing that? Sorry, are you doing that this week, or you just have to?
No, I haven't organised anything.
Yeah,
I'll do next week, or maybe this week, maybe next week.
Bad week. Yeah,
it's probably going to be next week that we'll record, so it might be after that. So not anytime soon. Anyway, so this is sort of the initial setup of me versus Ashes to Wolves with the cult, and I haven't had a chance to paint them, but there's actually quite a lot of units on this table.
Yes,
you might be able to see there's some bloodletters in the far. There's some plague riders in the back. Have I got any zoomed in photos of them? Oh, I got rid of them. Yeah, so there's the bloodletters.
Yeah.
And there's the plague riders in the back. And then I had a whole bunch of demonettes and the plague. What's the plague bearers?
This is what was in the ruins, basically, coming out, was it?
All these demons coming out.
Oh.
Now I'll show you. So, because I had written up. I might flop over to this. So this is sort of the scenario that I sort of devised, and it's basically the Fiends of Monte Castello. So it's basically you're sort of deploying your armies, but there's a demonic deployment zone. So in 2 corners of the board, 9 inches wide by 20 inches long from the long edges of the table. 2 demonic deployment zones, and then so each of our deployment zones, which is kind of like battle line, but it's only 48 inches wide to allow for the demonics. And then essentially you deploy them when you're deploying your other stuff. And then sort of the thing that I really had to think out was actually how this stuff moves. And this is probably the finesse part that I really had to work this out. So because this is probably the most interesting part of it, really, because I did want to, like, these are neutral units, right? And I needed to work out an AI system for this. But the NPC movement rules that I have in the campaign, I felt were a little bit bland for an entire army, because it was just a bit too sort of, I mean, it's automatic and that's fine, but when it's like when you've got 6 units on the board, you kind of want a bit more intelligence behind it. So essentially how it works is at the start of each player's turn, you check the proximity of each player's units to each demonic unit. If the player's closest unit is further away from the demonic unit than his opponent, they control that unit for the duration of their turn.
Ooh.
Right.
So if you're further away from the unit, then you have control over what that unit does. The concept being they should be closer to the enemy, so that you're going to charge with it because you want to hit your opponent with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was really quite interesting how that felt, because you're really trying to avoid these units because you don't want to be too close to them, because if you're too close to them, if you get closer to your opponent, then suddenly they're going to turn to face you. now I'll go into that a little bit and how that helped with the battle, how that affected my thinking. But the other things I had in this as well is I gave each demonic unit magic resistance D3, so you can cast spells on them, but they get a bit of natural resistance to spells because you want there's magic phases and stuff, but you want your opponent isn't necessarily going to be dispelling stuff you're going to cast at the demonic units. So I gave them that just to make it a bit harder. The combats, obviously, they were just striking combat as normal. All the other demonic rules are the same, but I added in the demonic animosity rules that were back in, I think they're from 5th Ed Fantasy, but there's also in 40k, there's a bit of this, but I did alter it a bit as well. So it is, the rivals are between Slanesh Khorne and then Zench and Nurgle. And then how I made it work, a little bit less complicated, because some of the other ones I was like, oh, this is a bit too hectic where, the units of fail animosity are charging to each other and you're going to roll out a whole turn of combat. And I'm like, oh, I don't really like this. So basically it's whenever a player attempts to perform a move with a demonic unit that's within 6 inches of a rival, roll a d6 and you check a table. On a 1, they're consumed by rage, they assail one each other, but what you essentially do is you take off d6 wounds from both units.
Sort of like an auto wound thing.
You're not moving stuff around. It's just automatic wounds. You just take some wounds. On a 2, they shout and scream at the other unit in an outrageous manner and they can't move. And then 3 to 6, they're fine. And that's it. It's quite a fun little thing.
That's good.
I think it's quite simple. You don't want to be rolling a combat phase between 2 neutral units. It's not interesting. So, and I thought that's just a fairly simple way to do it. Now, going back to the how the game felt was that because we've got these demonic units both corners, suddenly my flanking units, I felt like I couldn't. Usually the amount of demonettes would be zooping up the flank trying to get behind the dwarves, but because I've got the demons in the corner that I don't want to get too close to because they're they're close to the dwarves right now and the bloodletters are heading towards their flank. I'm like, oh, I don't really want to go behind them because suddenly he'll just turn those bloodletters around to face my flanking units. So it was really it felt like we were sort of funneled a bit more centrally, which is not the worst thing necessarily. And it also felt a little bit like that game that I played where it was the 4-player game where it's 2v2, but you're each in a different corner. Because suddenly you're setting up your battle lines to take on multiple different fronts as well. And it was a really interesting, completely different way of playing because you're just trying to think about maybe I'll try to take on this unit, or if I don't want to take a unit, I'll try to keep really far away so that the proximity means that I can actually control that unit to then move it towards my opponent and then try to play with him and that kind of thing. And I had titillating delusions going off a little bit, and that helped me to drag the dwarves into closer to the demons so that I could then shift the demons towards him and try to move them and that type of thing. It was quite a fun scenario actually. It did take longer.
A charge off and stuff. Were you able to control the demons to charge into him and stuff? So right at the back, those plague riders, I think I can't remember. I just pushed them right up. These Longbeards actually charged them, but it was only like 10 Longbeards, and the plague riders in 6th Ed were actually, I don't think Eris realized how good they are. They're the ones on the toad, are they?
They're on the toads.
Yep.
And they're like D6 plus 2 attacks, 2 strength 4 poison attacks each. And there's 3 of them. And so suddenly the Longbeards just disintegrated, and then they just I think they lost combat, got pursued by the plague riders, and the plague riders just hit the anvil. That was right behind them.
Thing behind it. Yep.
But the anvil, actually, they couldn't penetrate. That combat went for like 9 turns. At the end of the game, the Rune Lord was still alive because they just couldn't get through his armor. He had a 2-up or a 1-up armor save. And it just wasn't penetrating. I mean, it also helped that he had the Rune of Luck, I think, which gave him a reroll. And then because in the campaign you can also pay for a couple of other rerolls. So oh man, he had 1 wound left at the end of the game, and he just wasn't playing. So the anvil just hang around for bloody ages. I think yeah, I also had a bit of fun. I made the gyrocopter frenzy, so he came and charged my devoted, which was funny. A lot of fun. A key moment was the devoted charging his hammerers with the. I've got the anointed on the boob worm.
Yeah.
So I'll go through that in the what happens after that. The bloodletters are coming in on the side there as well, which is kind of crazy.
The Thunderers,
Yeah, kind of head towards the Thunderers as well, who I deluded into marching towards the bloodletters as well. A lot of fun. I love it. But yeah, I'll go through a bit more with the other game. There was Hugh versus Will. Hugh was ambushing. So the Wood Elves got ambushed by Hugh's Empire, which doesn't feel like. I feel like that's the opposite of what it should be in a way. Because it's like it's a village, and the Wood Elves are marching through the village, and then the Empire suddenly ambushing them. They both ended up with some mercenaries. So Hugh ended up getting what's it called, Lumpenkrups fighting cocks, the little halfling dogs of war, right at the back. Who I am currently, because I'm like, I got to get some of these guys painted. So I'm currently in the process of painting up those. Which is starting. And then we'll have these Pizarro's Lost Legion mercs as well from the previous round as well. So the Pizarro has actually helped him a lot. In this one, I think they sort of kept him alive in this game, because I think he ended up winning quite handsomely, but there was a couple of turning points where things could have gone either way. And I think if the Pizarros had fled or lost combat by one more or something like that, it could have ended up being quite a big win for Hugh instead. But yes, the roaming vagrant will continue to roam next month. But yeah, so where am I? Oh, I got that. Can I get rid of that? Oh, right. Okay. Cool. But yeah, that's my hobby really. So that was that scenario. I felt like it ran pretty well. I would love to have time to paint up all those demons, and at some point I'll try to. Because it'll look amazing.
At least they're demons. They're a bit quicker, and you can just smash through them really. I mean, you've been doing demons anyway, but
bloodletters
are pretty easy to paint.
I should just crack them out, something like that. But I've got these mercenaries I want to do, so I'm working on Lumpenkrupp, and I want to get the Pizarro's Legions done as well, because I'm in the way of having those 2 units unpainted. Still got, and I want to the tiles. I want to do tiles as well. Oh, guys, I got so much stuff to play. Then I got to start prepping a bit for CanCon. I know, all 6 ed. It's all 6 ed stuff. But then I've got to get my CanCon stuff ready. I think I will take the Green Knight, I reckon. But it's got to make sure my base adapters are all okay. Get that looking fine, because at the moment they're all black, and I want to have time that I might be able to try to base them up properly. Because it's a good looking army when it's all the basings are the way I want it to be. So I might try to get that done as well at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to just suck it up with my empire and do a similar thing. Whilst I try paint a new empire, like province, I might just have to actually base. Like I use those adapters, but maybe I should actually, decorate them up similar, so then they look, they just don't look like they're on black squares. But
yeah, absolutely. I have also offered to Ben Craig, who's running CanCon. I'm going to be bringing up some mats and some terrain for him as well. I ended up with a bunch of mats now. I've got like 7 mats because I think I had 4 when we did CanCon last year, but I bought a few more since then. So some of them.
I still want to buy that one you've got. And every time I go to look for it, it's only over overseas, and it costs a crap ton to post it here. So I'm like, that I don't know which one it is. The one with the paths. I think you had it up before, where through the village. I love that one. It's a cool one.
That's the city one, is it? Where is it? Oh, was it that one in the city or
maybe
no, I didn't have it on this month. No, I didn't. Yeah. I thought I had it out this month. But can you see that? Oh, you can't really
Cobblestone Streets V2.
You can't really see what I've done on this one. So, oh man, I do want to show this actually. Give me like 30 little. I'll just get this ready. So with the mats, one thing that I had arranged and I finally got to use it. Why didn't this load? Where is it? Which one is it? It's because they were playing on a coastal city. So
Oh, yeah, those things down the side.
So I got the things down the side. So I'll see if I can present this now. Oh, wait, hold on. Stop screen. There it is. All right, there we go. So yeah, just in the far corner there, you can see. Yes, I've got some coast. Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Do it again.
Hey.
Oh yes, yep.
It was interesting because it did make the board a bit smaller because they actually rolled high tide on that scenario as well.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like 6 inches. That whole long board edge is coast, just water coastline. Which meant everything else would have got crammed up, and I was like, guys, that's a bit of terrain. You just want to back up a little bit on that terrain. But yeah, I was pleased to finally crack it out, and the three guys were like, what the hell is that? Like, what on earth you got there, Josh? I'm like, no, got this made for the coast, because they were just going to start measuring out the coastline. I'm like, no, guys, I got this. I got this. I'm playing for this.
They must have listened to your podcast. Although maybe that was on this podcast, not the other one. I don't know. But yes.
This would have been. Cool, it would have been this one, but it would have been lost in the months ago when I got that. When I got that in.
It's awesome. Cool. So cool.
Yeah.
That's my hobby.
Yeah, we've
/ campaign.
Before we get on the topic too, I totally screwed around and didn't do the news. Not that there was news because I chatted about that person, but I did want to bring up one thing about the Empire pre-orders, which obviously Australia doesn't get. Which sucks. Do you reckon, actually, when do you think, as a prediction, not for the actual prediction, not the topic prediction, but when do you think we're actually going to get them in Australia, like as in the pre-orders? Do you reckon I don't think it'll be too far. I don't think
January,
like
was it 3rd or something?
No. Yeah.
Ours pre-orders for Old World
was,
I thought it was in Feb, wasn't it? Or was it mid? Maybe you're right.
Wasn't it only like
so long ago?
Yeah. I thought it was only 2 or 3 weeks later, wasn't it? The pre-order.
But do you reckon it's going to be that? I don't reckon it'll be any more than 2 weeks.
It felt like a very long time.
It did, yeah. It felt like a long time. But,
especially when we're recording every week and we're like, still don't have.
Seen everyone else start getting them, they're unboxing them, and we haven't even.
Don't even know.
But I just wanted to take note. This is the UK one. It's different all around the world, but it's interesting to see the battalion box go straight out of stock, which is pretty interesting, actually. Given given I think people looked at it and went, just the way State Troops is. But I think it's it's a good sign that people just like the Empire Army and how it's done, and even the look of it, even though those things might not be as competitive, but that's good to see.
I feel like there's so many people buying boxes as well these days, purchasing and divvying them up and selling them separate.
Yeah,
eBay sellers and whatnot. I don't feel like you used to have that as much, whereas now it seems like a big thing. Like people just buy the big boxes and divvy them up and sell
I think
them.
The fact that these are all like double boxes a lot, that's probably makes it even more useful. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So no, I just thought that was interesting. Obviously that Tudyk and Guard went out as well. That's in America. They're out of stock as well. The Command's not.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I thought that was funny was the War Altar is online only. So even though it's plastic, they're not. Yeah, you got to buy it through GW basically, which is interesting because most of the plastics will end up in the shops. I might be wrong, but I'm not aware of any of the other plastics that are just available online. Maybe there is, and I just didn't notice it. But it seemed like a lot of the plastic stuff you could buy.
Did you say, Gomo, that you had an eye on anything? I know you've got quite a bit of Empire.
I hadn't really decided. I mean, I probably want to grab the Free Company Militia just because I've never had them. I was considering another Imperial Griffin, but I don't need it yet, and it's probably not going to go in stock, so I probably wouldn't bother. I probably would get Demigriffs. I've got 7 Demigriffs, so I probably wouldn't mind getting another pack, especially if I want to start doing a Middenheim army. But it'll depend on the lists I build initially, I think.
Oh, so you want to double up? Okay, I get you. Sorry.
Yeah, Tutor and Guard I'll get, but again, they're going to be from
They're awesome.
Games Workshop. Yeah. But they're not limited editions. So I feel like I'm not in a rush. So I'll buy them once I sort out what I'm going to do, I think, more than anything. I might go out straight, get some militia and yeah, I don't know, man. I haven't actually really made a decision, and because it got delayed, I didn't have to think about it. So I haven't thought about it. Yeah. Should I get the War Altar now that it has Sigmund head? What's it called? Sigmund what's his name? Heldenhammer, is it? Sigmar Heldenhammer.
Sure.
Imagine buying a whole separate one just to have a different banner name rather than Girlfriends. It's dedication.
Magnetize it, you just pull it up and depending on the edition you play.
Yeah. Buy some more Outriders to make some what are they called? What are they called? The Road Wardens. I've printed so many bloody Outriders from
they are so good, those Road
from Highlands, that I really don't need any. So because I started putting them together and then went away. So yeah, I'm not sure, man. It's a good question, but I guess I'll see once we get pre-order.
Wait and see.
Yeah.
Do you think the Road Wardens were made after they published? Like, it's just interesting how different they are to Pistoliers. Well, similar yet different, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It comes back to that whole thing is like how far in advance were these things made? You know, someone else was mentioning that 6 months out, but I don't know. My gut feel was these. I don't know. It just feels like the whole, at least on the books, was all put together.
Yeah, I feel like that's likely.
Because even you know how sometimes like you get like Chaos One's a good example where it's you get it and then you look at the pictures and not that special cat Friday, whatever the name is not in there, but then like 2 weeks later she comes out on pre-order. Like obviously that book was done ages ago. Do you know what I mean? And like so. Again, have you guys seen? I haven't watched. I'm shooting they're out now, but I haven't watched a full flick through of the Arcane Journal. Have you? Like on YouTube. Like so, I've only seen the leaked rules. I haven't seen someone flick through. I mean, they would now, but I haven't seen it like flick through the whole book because I'd like to see what are the special characters all in there that were released and stuff. I'm assuming, but are they in the imagery of the actual? Army shots, right? You know, like the actual figures. Okay, I don't know. Probably is, but I haven't seen it.
That'd be interesting to see.
Let us know when you listen to this Patrons if I haven't watched it. Let me know.
I'd be surprised.
Because I know Mountain Miniatures would have done it, and there's a couple of others, but I just haven't watched. It's been too busy, you know, to sit and watch YouTube lately. That's all. Just
I just watch Squarebase.
Yeah, busy time of year.
Only flick through it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. We want to throw into some predictions. So I'll intro it quickly. So the prediction thing, what we want to chat about is what we think is happening this coming year. Well, it depends when you're listening to this, 2025. But I've sort of had a couple of categories, and you can do them or not. I don't care. But it was like, what do you think G-Dub's going to release in 2025? That's the prediction. And I think at the end of the year, if we remember, because we definitely will be still going, we'll see, we'll mark ourselves how we did. But then another category would be like what the community is going to deliver in 2025. So like state of the game, the community, what are they going to do? And then number 3, just so you can have some cooler predictions before the year's out. What do you reckon we will have heard about? So like that's a little, you know, like it might not be released. It might have just been hinted at or whatever.
So, like Nova and whatnot, they just dump the
just stuff like that. It can be a little bit like you think this is coming, but it can also be like I want this to come. It doesn't really matter. But, even though it's said I'm marking you guys, I'm not really. So just to move my mic around. And we have a couple of predictions to throw in from Jay and Jarek Kruger, 2 of our patrons.
Cool, patrons. Can I predict we're going to get another awesome roadmap going into next year?
Oh, that's a good one.
With all different arrows everywhere and
backwards, sideways. It'd be so funny if they do listen, and so they do a really, really crazy one. I would if I was working there again. These guys are shitheads. I'm gonna like really confuse them.
Oh dear. How long do you think it'll be till the high elves come out?
I'm guessing I think March. That's
Okay.
my March to
Yeah.
April.
Okay. Because I was thinking we're gonna see them and they'd be pre-orders out before the end of Feb, so into March. I reckon. I reckon it's very close.
You reckon?
It just
Yeah,
said
right.
in one of the articles that they're coming along fairly quickly.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So
I'm
then,
not
because I guess we
100%
should
on
hit.
that, I'm just.
Should we hit this first? Because I mean, this is where sort of it was sort of talking about what GW is going to release going in for the whole year. So if you're thinking, well, High Elves are going to come out fairly soon, what's going to happen the rest of the year?
Well,
how long after that do you think Wood Elves
Well,
and
do you want me to drop
Beastmen
my
come out?
prediction that I reckon that I'm going to just put this down?
Gomo's timeline
is
Gomo's 2025.
End of summer 2025. And when I say summer, because I'm just talking
maybe
Northern
stick with the
Hemisphere
months.
here.
Yeah, because you're going to do end of summer.
So June, June to
winter.
July. I like using summer in July in UK, like Northern Hemisphere, because it gives me a little bit of leeway if it drags into August and stuff, because I can say it's still summer. You know, so but I'd say both Wood Elves and Beastmen are out. So basically the game is out in close to 18 months. At least the 9 factions. That's my prediction I'm going to put down. It's not going to drag out all year because I think there's other stuff potentially coming.
Okay.
Okay. Because at the end of Northern Summer last year, what did they put out? Were they done the Chaos
pretty
before
much.
Then?
Yeah, close enough. Or we'd seen it at least.
So we had Orcs and Goblins,
Maybe
Dwarves, and Chaos?
Let me have a look.
Maybe?
Was Chaos? I thought Chaos was that September, October?
Might have been more
before then.
Yeah, I thought it was August, September.
Okay, yeah.
I
feel like October we had nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just the year's just flown by.
Yeah.
So
keep going, and I'll tell you when it was. I'll just look back through the almanac thing.
What's your timeline, Josh?
Because I wonder, I mean,
so I've got it here for just quickly. 31st of August was the pre-orders for Chaos.
Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. So they'd what,
June
done 3
1 to August 31 is summer in Northern Hemisphere generally. I mean, America do it a little different, but just so you know.
Oh, I thought that was the rule. Okay, I didn't realize America had different summers.
Well, it depends. I don't know. I don't know if summer's the same, but America
not to derail us.
Well, again, tell us, Paige, if I'm getting this wrong, but America's winter, like they generally go off the solstice thing in terms of start and end stuff, not so much the dates.
Oh, here we go.
Really? What an interesting way
so.
of
Geo.
Should I look that
geography
up?
and
care?
I actually do care, but I feel like it's an
okay. So you know how America do really weird things like use Fahrenheit and boiling water is at 74.418. I don't know. I'm just ripping Americans off. Sorry, I shouldn't say Americans. So the winter dates in the USA, I don't know if it's not just USA. I'll say it's USA. Is Saturday 21st of December to Thursday 20th of March 2025. So remember that. Learn that, you little school kids.
Yep. It's locked in.
That's so what?
Because it's off the shortest day. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Even though technically the shortest day probably should fall in the middle. I don't know.
I don't know how I never knew that. I didn't really. I assumed everyone just followed the monthly.
You just grew up in a European-y American, sort of like English European world country that just standardized so many things and went, let's just go off dates and let's use 0 to 1,000 and 100s and let's just make things easy, not complicated.
Yeah. Australia's this weird hybrid now, I feel like, between America and the UK for influence. It used to be so UK dominant, and now
it's definitely
American influence is coming in, and now I feel like we're this conglomerate of
At least we're not like the UK that still have miles in their cars and drive around in miles. But
yes, true.
Then have metrics everywhere.
But they still use the metric system. Yeah, it's boggling.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
back to,
totally
back to
derail
the-
the predictions.
Anyway,
Josh's
guys.
roadmap.
But it's related because when I say end of there, that's why I was hedging my bet, saying.
Okay.
So I'm basically saying by the 31st of August 25, all 9 factions will have been at least up for pre-order.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
With the early high elf launch.
Yeah, and
Very
to get that out, I
on the
think you're going to have
heels
high elves
of-
pretty quick. Yeah.
The heels of the Empire.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go for a Hail Mary and say it'll all be out just before summer.
Wow, even better. I love it.
Yeah,
If the hail, because if the high elves come out early, that's only 2 more. It's only 2, isn't it? Wood elves and
Yep,
beastmen.
Mm.
So they could do one of them around, March, and then maybe the other one at least gets announced, by June. So yeah, I'm gonna go
Announced.
And
Are we
it is
going
an off year. So,
pre-orders by before June. I'm gonna say.
Love it.
Oh, we're doing pre-order. Okay. Yeah, right.
If someone writes these down, I don't want to have to transcribe this.
Transcribe it.
To know our predictions. But anyway.
I'm going for a later high elf prediction. But I will be going for a very dwarf orc back to back sort of. But I'd be going that sort of maybe. So I'm guessing August high elves, and then maybe July.
April.
Yeah, July, August, September, October sort of time period for wood elves.
So you're saying like right out to October, maybe Beastman. Yeah, okay. A bit more pessimistic, but I like it. Do we have any just talking about those actual faction releases? Did any of the patrons mention some of that? I think so.
At the timing of faction, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jerick's was like, high elves will come out in spring, northern spring. So that's okay.
I don't know what date that is because we don't know what if he's in the US or not. So.
And he thinks he'll get the last 2 Arcane Journals by October-ish. So that's what, northern autumn.
Yep.
Okay,
it's sort of like Andrew's. That's sort of Andrew's prediction.
Yeah. So maybe they'll spread it over the year. Just to go into it a bit more, Jerick also was contemplating what the nature of the armies of infamy will be in the high elves as well. He's thinking serrations, including white lions not attached to chariots. I'm not sure what that. Sorry, like he means the actual lion. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not get that.
That's awesome. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, I was really confused by that.
Like a brand new unit, I'm guessing.
Yeah, just a lion. And then the Northern Sea Patrol, including the Merworm, which I think has been alluded to a little bit, hasn't it? That
people have been mentioning it. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not sure. I don't know much about the high elf stuff, but yeah, I've heard that multiple times.
To see a better Sea Patrol than the travesty.
No, I want the Sea Patrol where you can just shoot everything before the game even starts.
Oh, that's right. You had the misfortune of playing him, didn't you?
What if my army was
with the chariots and stuff, like the figures that like Andrew, you might know more about this, is like it seems like a lot of the armies that have come out, they've sort of mix and match chariots, or like the Black Orc chariot and then the Chaos chariot as Chaos Chosen or whatever. So the high elves have the similar sort of makeup because you got the Tyrannok and you got the White Lion. Are they both plastic kits?
There was a combo kit,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was. There was the combo kit. So I'm assuming that's exactly what it's gonna.
Oh, so it does both, does it? You can make a white line, and that's why it's saying you can. Wow. Okay, so right. Okay, well, that I think he's hitting them up. They're gonna use the figures that are there, and so if you can use those lines without the chariot, that might be a thing that they'll do.
That is hilarious. I'd not heard that anyone just suggest that before.
No, but that's breaking news. You've heard this here first, not from us, but on Old World Fanatics. However, my other question, I guess, with that was,
patrons.
Have you got any predictions?
Praise them.
Have you got any predictions, Andrew, on like what sort of bigger mashup in terms of characters you might see on chariots or not? That like
I'm guessing they're going to have some foot stuff, and there's going to be a mage of some sort. I can see there's going to be a character on foot, and possibly, I believe there might be a worm from the Mer, an underwater worm.
The deep Mer.
That looks suspiciously like a dark elf. Previous plastic.
Yeah, what's it called? Medusa thing? No, the
Charybdis or the Hydra?
The Charybdis one.
The Hydra. But there was a I think Forge World had some sort of water beast, but it didn't really
what's
look like
the one I thought they were going to bring out? Are you saying they might that'd be interesting if they rebadged a dark. No, can't you get you can get it from AOS at the moment though, can't you?
I think so. I think you can still get it retail.
I don't know. They might
anyway.
Well, the War Altar got a rebadge. I mean,
who's
not to say that
adjusted. And what did they say about the other thing? The Hurricaneum got made more appropriate for AOS, whatever that means. Wasn't specific on what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Did you see that you still get Carl Franz? Is it Carl Franz? I think. Yeah. On in the Griffin box, like they've chopped all the Carl Franz stuff off, but obviously they haven't been able to remove. So you do get a Carl Franz figure in it apparently.
Okay, cool. Funny. What about Wood Elf armies in Infinity? What would you guys be thinking? Would the Wood Elf ones be?
I'm leaning, and I think I just saw that there, but I'm leaning against a Spirit Host army myself. I just feel like it's too.
That is one of the suggestions from Jarek Kruger.
Or is it? Yeah. I just feel like it's
that
too
would be so cool. I just feel like that would go nuts.
I think it would too, but I just.
You think they're going to avoid it because of Sylvaneth?
Yep.
Yeah,
well, the Dryads are still AOS-ish now, aren't they? I don't know.
It's such a popular. I mean, that's why they made Sylvaneth, because they knew the tree spirits.
Show me the money. Popular. That's what GW is saying.
Show me the money. If they did that, they'd have vampire counts in the old world.
Well, who's not to say there's not going to be some vampire counts in the old
world? Well, that could be a future theme. I'm saying for this actual incarnation, when they've put the old. I don't know. They still could do it, but it's going to be all the old six that, the old matchstick treatment and stuff,
I mean, they might do one, like, I'd love to see, like, he's the other one, like, okay, so Jarek has suggested as a second one, a Wild Hunt focus army based on Orion.
I think that's...
and I think that would be awesome. Like, I would love to see a combat-oriented Wood Elf. I mean, I think that's always the funnest.
Funnest
archetype of Wood Elves.
I reckon I reckon one's going to be Wild Hunt, mostly mounted, because they're doing that all the time. Heaps of these armies have mounted, and then there is going to be an infantry one. I know people will whinge and say that's going to be shit, but hopefully either the game's sorted or not. But it's going to try and do some type of infantry-based
infantry and scouts
army. Yeah, I don't know.
I was thinking. I mean, maybe my suggestion was more, Orion Wild Hunt, and then maybe Alariel, more spiritual tree, singing Sisters of the Thorn, type stuff.
Yeah.
As my suggestion. I don't know. They'll do a full infantry one. You mean like, as in, like?
I just say just not having all just archers, but something that's a bit, I don't know, a bit different.
Yeah.
So.
I would love to see that. I think what else are best? I think short range shooting, lots of combat, zippiness, running around, picking their fights. Like, I think that's the funnest way of playing them.
I mean, they could really lean into
full avoidance
and stuff then as well.
Absolutely,
stuff,
Yeah. Absolutely. I have no suggestion for Beastmen.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess because the army's gone from AOS now, I guess you probably could do things like full Minotaur army or do you reckon they would do? They could they pull off a full monster one? Because we don't really have that in the game yet.
Full on monster mash Beastmen.
It's just literally all monsters, basically. Because I mean that's very Beastman-ish.
That is, or a giant.
You could play like an AOS army, but it'd be
It would be It's not helping the feeling of playing AOS sometimes. What would?
I
Yeah, I think
ambushing,
that's totally plausible.
I think what Beastman might
Or
be cool to play around with a bit more though is like, you know how like the Chaos one sort of brought Marauders in. I don't know, like it felt like you've sort of branched away from Chaos Warriors and sort of had the Marauder thing. It'd be interesting if Beastman sort of lent into, I don't know, almost bringing in some of the other Chaos elements into it a little bit as well and sort of blending it a little bit. So it's not just in your face, obvious Beastman stuff. It might be a mix of, I don't know,
like a Hordes of
chaotic
Chaos style.
elements. Yeah, I don't know.
Chaos
like,
Warriors or demons coming in.
Yeah, maybe not so overtly demonic
Not
or
overtly,
Chaos
but-
Warrior, but like that sort of
Like, what do you mean?
chaos element to it. Yeah, I don't know. Just mutate, like maybe getting Marauder kits or something and Beastmen and sort of making these weird ass mutation-y type Beastman-y type things or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Okay.
Because you know when you read the books, like I just finished reading like the first one of Gotrek Felix, and all the Beastmen in the forest are always like cultists and weird Beastman things with Beastman head and a cow head, and like but yeah, when you're in the Beastman army, they're all very like normal
in the middle of a big Slaneshi orgy.
Yeah. They're always
always in the book. There's always some Slaneshi orgy in there. Like,
yeah. So it'd be cool to like take that element. It's still Beastman, but it's like these weird stuff that's like humans have been turned and corrupted into beasts. You know, back and then it's starting to, the hint of chaos is coming. That's what I was sort of getting at. It's not as overtly. So it's almost like you're mixing elements of humanity with the Beastman. That's what I guess what I'm getting at versus just chaos.
Right.
And so there's a bit of a kit bash opportunities to do some weird stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I never would have pictured that as a thing. So that's a cool idea.
Because I just don't think they bring in a lot. And then I'd say monster heavy.
Monster mash.
I mean, they could do like a Minotaur heavy one, but I feel like I don't know.
Minotaurs, Shaggoths, Dragon Ogres, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Probably gone up this thing. What else do you think Games Workshop are going to relate? I mean, that was
going to later in the year, like once they've done all the arcane journals, what could be coming out? Like Jay predicts, maybe a cafe army, or maybe a new box set. Big call.
Ooh.
Big call.
Big call for 2025, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Was that in 2025, or was that an announcement?
That's the concept of this.
Okay.
No one's predicting 2 years ahead.
No.
It's too far in advance.
What do you guys think about this tournament, General's Compendium tournament, organized play thing and changing the rules a bit and skirmishes? Do you think we're going to see, is that a guarantee for 2025? We're getting some type of patched skirmishes? Like, is this happening, or is this just people keep telling a rumor that keeps telling a rumor, and then people like us keep saying it's rumor that just becomes this
Chinese whispers?
But I don't disregard some of the people that are saying it, but at the same time, Throne of Skulls comes along, and the best they can do is, stop you taking the Chaos Dragon. That's really about all they did. They're busy. I'm not saying that they, you know what I mean? Like, they're so far technically, their production schedule, even though the project has expanded, are they really bringing out like a different actual book? I don't think it's going to be book. I'm just going to put it right now. I don't think we're going to see an actual PDF/purchasable piece of paper until the other factions are out. So if there is a tournament organized play thing, then it'll be a PDF thing on the web store.
I was thinking the other way.
Ooh, good.
I was thinking once everything's released, there will be an organized play release. There might be.
What? Oh, that's what I'm meaning. So I'm saying until Beastmen and all that are out. Until all the factions are out, we're not going to see like a book that comes out.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I think it's very, very reasonable.
It felt like people are saying it's imminent. No.
Yeah, me too.
So if it is imminent, if there is an organised play coming and that's going to say, hey, we suggest you do this and skirmishes play like this, it might be just a more detailed FAQ thing, downloadable, which I think we will get. but I don't know when. But that's sounding soon, but I don't know. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
Rules adjustments. Yeah.
Would they? Got another prediction. We're not going to see that FAQ until after Throne of Skulls because they're going to just let it run, see what happens with that one, then throw a PDF out.
Do you think?
Oh, you're going to? Yeah. You're thinking of PDF?
Oh, yeah, just for like,
okay,
even just a new FAQ and erratas and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see another campaign book or something like that.
You
know,
be awesome.
whether or not it includes errata or not, just something that pushes the story and the fluff along. That maybe also releases a couple of units, I suppose, for certain factions. I think that'd be an awesome thing to see.
Do you think you will see it though this year?
No.
No.
To be quite honest, no, I don't think
I mean, but you are right. Like, we might, if we literally, I think we're all in agreement that we're not going to get to the end of the year and all they've done is released 3 other factions because Empire's out.
I feel what's going to happen is they're going to get all the other factions out. Yeah, it'll be sort of mid-year, and it's sort of after that, it's kind of going to be like what happened this year in that they did Chaos, and that was the last release really until Empire.
Yeah, it slowed right down. Yeah,
that's 5 months, and I suspect that's going to happen again, where there'll be this big, gap, and then come close to the end of next year. They'll pull up something that they'll at least be previewing that it's going to be a bigger release that hopefully will pique interest. Whether that is like a general's book or something like that, or whether it is a big release. Because it'll be 2 years old at that point too, at the end of next year. So will we be starting to think it will be another year, and then they might look at a whole new version?
You start clashing into it's 40k year next year, isn't it? Well, next year after 2025, so 2026. Is that right? Is that 40k?
Oh, yeah, right, okay.
Not that I think that's, I don't know. They've done 40k or AOS and Heresy before, so I don't know. It's probably not that big a deal, but yeah. Anyone else got any? What else do you think like Games Workshop are gonna release this year in terms of physical stuff, or like it could be for the current armies coming out, like particular figures you think they're definitely going to have, or is there anything else you thought? Is there anything in there that you think they're missing in the old stuff that you think is going to come out, like the pre-existing armies?
Jerry Q actually has some good suggestions because he's thinking they might see some resin minis in the shape of maybe a resin Black Hawk Chariot or Royal Clan Warriors coming out. A Black Hawk Chariot would be interesting. Like it would be kind of cool to get some more mini support in that regard. I suspect it might be more the special characters, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because I was surprised to see the Worm Slayer model, and that makes me think maybe they are going back and looking at those.
And what are we missing? I mean, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have done that as an episode. Like what's still missing in every released army? So
true that.
Maybe that's
is there anything in the Orcs and Goblins that still needs releasing in terms of special characters? Like Swamp Digger, I think got a release.
Nah, they're both. I think they're.
Or is he not?
Oh, hang on, no. Well, sorry, the Wolf Dude hasn't technically been released. Even
the
Wolf
Dude.
You could probably use Kitnik from the AOS one, or the real Kitnik from the AOS one.
Yeah.
The dwarf special characters. Technically, I guess that young Thorgrim was never technically released, but they did release the plastic dwarf Thane dude on the shield and stuff. And so, is that right?
Yeah. So, because they got
now they've done Grimburl, whatever he's fucking doing.
Yeah, they got.
Oh God, don't say that again.
And then they've got the Slayer King. So
yep, they got him. But didn't they have the other? There was Thorgrim as well. Hey, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'd love to see, but I don't think we would. But if you were talking about like re-resing, that's funny.
Resurrecting?
Resining, it's sort of resurrecting. Nagash. Not Nagash. Sorry, not
Nagash.
Cetra. Cetra, because he is in there. And I'm just skimming. So I'm just skimming the. Yeah, okay. He is in. Okay, maybe it's not. The actual old figure is available and for sale. But I'm just wondering, it'd be cool to see an actual. Like, it'd be cool if the special characters all got redone and weren't just some crappy old ones. That would be cool.
Is he on the Arcane Journal, Cetra?
Yeah, he's in the. Yeah, Cetra's in the Arcane Journal.
But he's not good, is he?
Well, he's not dragon. He's not a dragon, put it that way.
Considering he's the lord of the.
Yeah, and he's a level 1. This is the problem with him. He's a level 1 wizard, and he has to be a wizard. He has to be a dude, or all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe there's something there still that people aren't picking up on. I don't know. Have to have a look.
One of the other big questions, and this is something in the prediction. So I think Miss Junk also suggested legacy armies will be taken out of quarantine and allowed to play with the other children.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's a good one. I did have that on my list of 2025, but as a sort of I hope type thing, that it's at least announced near the end of the year that there will be. That's sort of the next big release. I don't know if they'll show us a clip. I think it's going to come out as a book. They will have. I think they'll just do Force of Fantasy. The
Unwanted Children
hordes, and it'll be called something else. They'll just come up with a name that doesn't really fit, but it's going to have the 5 armies in it.
I can't see it happening this year. Next year.
I'm not saying it's going to come out. I'm saying we're going to see it.
I don't think they're going to do it till they have a version 2 of the Old World.
Mm.
I know I sound pessimistic.
That's good.
But
that's good.
I don't think it's going to happen.
We've got some variety on the podcast. I like it. I just think it's such an easy way to expand the project. But
it is.
Not really expand it. You know what I mean? And just money.
But would they?
Andrew was saying.
Would they release Arcane Journals for them? Like, is it like you're saying they would put out a book called what Legacy Armies or something?
Oh yeah, I reckon
they'll put out a physical book.
It'll be a physical book like
of the PDFs,
basically of the PDFs with army shots and probably updated.
Surely updated.
Lizardmen will be a bit better and all that, and it'll go out of stock on Games Workshop things, and so will Lizardmen and all the other figures at AOS will all go out of stock, and they'll sit back and go, "Shit, AOS sold well that year." Yeah.
That's what will happen. Such a better system.
That's right. Yeah. So I reckon I'm not convinced that book would come out by the end of the year, but I think that's the next big release.
I don't know that they're going to do it. I don't know. What are they going to call it? Like, it's just going to be a whole hodgepodge of
some. Yeah, it'll be some name.
Because there's
we messed up.
Forgotten Realms.
There's evil armies.
The Forgotten Races.
No, I just cannot see it. I think they were going to wait till they re-release the Old World,
and then they'll change the lore a bit to explain why.
And then they can redo all the books and change all the lore, and I think that's the only time they'll be left back.
So if they do that, then my prediction there would be yes, they have rapidly accelerated version 2, so we would see it. We might even hear about it by the end of the year, and it would be next year sometime, and that would be Cathay. The launches would be the other ones, but the whole game would have all of them. Yeah.
You think they would have a preview of a new edition of the Old World? Well, I'm saying by the end of
I'm saying by the end of the year they've got to preview either a new edition or at least new armies, which I think are Legacy initially.
Okay, so not Cathay first. You think Legacy?
I think Cathay and Kislev have to be in the new version. I don't think they're just going to throw that out as an army for the current version.
Okay.
I reckon. They might though, given that the armies are in the rule book, as in described in the rule book.
Okay. What about keep referring back, but Jarek also suggests, what if one of the Legacy factions gets a full refresh in Age of Sigmar?
Ooh.
Such as Dark Elves or the Ogre Kingdoms, sort of paving the way for them to be properly included in the Old World.
Yeah. And could you argue Skaven's almost there or not really?
Yeah, they're pretty much there.
It's close. Like, do you think if that's a prerequisite, do you think they'd be like, going, oh, okay, this army and this army, we would do a whole new release in the old, like not just all the legacy factions at once, but could they just do one army or something like that? Could they go, yeah, see, Skaven's appeared or something, and now they're in the old world?
They just happen to have some very similar models that we see.
Like that, I feel like that's more likely.
They could. The only issue I have there is, would it be a slightly bigger Arcane Journal or something? Because they'd have to reprint the general army as well.
Yeah, how would you do the rules? Yeah, that's true.
If you look at Horus Heresy, it probably makes it. Well, I don't know. Does it, like, if you that they released a book the other day? It probably wasn't the other day. With like Solar Auxilia, Mechanicum, some agents, and I know they probably are all Imperium. I don't know, but like, 5 different armies in it. That weren't technically related. I mean, they are related. They aren't related. There's like 2 sides, I guess. But like it's not technically Legion, whatever it's called, and then Traders.
Yeah.
So I just feel like they'd bring a book out. I don't know. That's my gut feel, but
they've got miniature support for those factions.
They were mostly. I am not the right person, but they were mostly like older Forge World stuff, and then obviously they plastified, if that's the word, Mechanicum and stuff. They are new
Resonation and classified.
They brought out all new plastics, which the cool thing is, and this is probably in the latter part of the predictions about what we always see. I think again, heresies are good. I think at some point it's a given that if this game keeps going and growing, that you will see entire plastic army refreshes. You know what I mean? It's just they'll want all the game out. They're doing all that, and then bang. The only thing is, I would probably predict, and here I go predicting, but is maybe they do change it a little bit. Maybe we don't see vampire counts. Maybe we see just vampire. Coast, what is it called? Vampire the Coast. Like they change it up slightly. So you can still make a vampire count army, but all the new plastics are much more sort of themed into some IP-ish.
Whatever the setting is.
IPable, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really like the sound of it, but at the same time, I think that would be extremely popular and successful.
Yeah.
Mm.
They gave it a weird twist.
Remember, have you guys been reading the Old World Almanacs? Oh yeah, here it is. So it was on the 24th of December. They brought out the Empire and its Armies of Infamy. I just like that it said the largest human nation in the West, at least, has been experiencing years of political disturbance and civil war, blah 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 blah. So it's cool to get that little comment in there. That Cathay and all that are way bigger.
It's
and obviously
still on the radar.
In our country, obviously, the Asian side there is just massive compared to the European country sizes. So it is interesting to say it's I don't know, it's a little hint there that we are still thinking about these other massive nations, and if they're that big, what other stuff can they bring out of there?
Yeah. No, definitely.
Oh man, I feel like them putting out Cathay might be more likely at the end of the year than previewing a second edition or anything else. I reckon that's probably.
So you're saying like literally just come out and just plug into the current game?
Do you think you're suggesting they would only do it as part of a whole refresh?
I can't see. Again, what they did with Heresy, they brought out the Age of Darkness version 2, whatever, with plastic, all the big plastic marines and stuff, and put it in a big launch box, $500-$600.
Yeah.
If you put Cathay and Kislev in a box with version 2 rule books, I mean, you could put $800 on that thing, Australian, and people would buy 2 of them.
Printing money.
Money. And especially if those designs are always already sitting there. And people, the rumors were they were the designs that then they used them for Total War and stuff. So I don't know. It's also the most popular played faction in China. So imagine literally printing money. Maybe that's why they're making a third factory. It's all going to be Old World.
Cathay. The Cathay factory.
Anyway. Okay, I've got 2 other sort of not so big predictions for 2025 that I think we'll see. One of them
Is
would
this
be
still GW? Yeah, go for it, sorry.
GW. We're going to see more scenery and probably like trees and stuff come out. We don't have them yet, and not all the scenery's out. So I think we'll get another batch, and that could be another thing that just pops out in a month. That what's happening? Oh crap! Here's more.
They're just going to re-release the old Citadel trees, do you think?
Yeah, probably. It's going to
The
be
ones that
something
they
like
just got rid of, they'll bring back.
Yeah, something like that. It'll be something. Because I don't have it all yet. There's more sceneries to print to re-release. So I think that would be a given. If they're, again, if they're not releasing a lot of the new stuff, it's just that. And then the other thing I did think of is surely there's a Black Library book coming.
Oh, yeah. Surely.
Right. Yes, really good suggestion. What the heck? They put out one book.
They can't do one.
Nothing.
They can't release one Black Library book in 24 months.
Yeah. I feel like that helps sell armies as well. So if you get a book about like Gotrek and Felix is like, I feel like that sold dwarves to quite a few people. Yep. I do. I think it's smart. Like, it's like Bretonnians. Bretonnians came out, and then obviously they had the book on Bretonnians. I feel like that was like it was a smart, like the coinciding. Just it gets people pumped up.
Well, and plus, I mean, they need to, don't they? Like, they don't have enough. People are still confused. Like up until again, we should have probably covered this stuff. Maybe we should do a YouTube video on this, Andrew, or someone. Like the almanacs for Empire. Like that last one, it was almost like a correction of that it is not the time of 3 emperors. It's after that. So people are still confused and don't know when it is, and so the more they can get some novels out, and they literally could do 10 books on just the Empire, because people just, I mean, I know people love chaos and all that, but if you just had humans and maybe some chaos in there with the odd orc coming in, you'd make a trilogy of that straight away. Like, people would read it because they want to know what's happening with the Empire and the time and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is so much material they could work with. That's why they chose that period, because they did have so much source material.
So use it. Get these novelists. AI half it. Who cares? Come on, just get it out.
We could be doing it. Let's write our own.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't start, so Anyway, they're my. I mean, not that. Yeah. So I had, like, for 2025, I had by June or by end of Northern Hemisphere summer, everything's out.
Yeah.
We might see an actual other book review by the end of the year, preview. Trees, other scenery comes out, Black Library, we get a book. That's our 2025. Plus an FAQ and all that sort of stuff, print PDFable erratas.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not that ambitious, but
no, I don't think ambition is what realistic. We want here, so that's realistic.
Yeah. Do you guys have any others, or can we just quickly jump into, like, what do you think the community is going to do?
Let's do community.
Yeah. Let's do community. I don't know what the community is going to do. You mean in terms of, like, the tournament scene, or
growth, tournament scene?
The game's going to be
fan art. I don't know. Whatever.
I think Gomo knows what's going to happen. You're going to start to see unification of a global scoring system, tournament scoring system. I believe that's on the cards.
Ever more.
Yeah. Once I get that finished,
ever more functional.
Nice. I didn't put that in there because that's a bit self-serving if it happened, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe a resurgence of a global. I suppose ETC, like as in start to see the overseas teams form. But it's definitely. I think that's definitely on the cards.
Yeah, I think hopefully by the end of the year that it settles down to because right now Rob's doing one, and I know Square Hammer's sort of announced one. Obviously, Games Workshop know what they do. I don't know. There is the Germans have run a team tournament, a world. It's called a world team tournament. And then pretty sure the ETC. I don't know what it is now, but they've tapped people on the shoulder to say, "Hey, can you start organising?" So it's starting to happen. So hopefully by the end of the year, some of those bigger ones settle down to be the main ones that most people are going for. Obviously, you can run your own, do whatever, but it'd be cool. I think with that, I had one specific prediction, and it does. So it won't happen if Games Workshop. So if Games Workshop come out in February and pump out a tournament playbook, blah 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 blah, then this won't happen. But my original prediction is we'll get some FAQs and stuff. And maybe you might get an FAQ that is a bit more specific around like skirmishes should work like this, but it's not like version 2 of the game or anything like that. So therefore some parts of the game aren't fixed, if you know what I mean. Like infantry is still going to suffer. Like there's not going to be any major change. So my prediction would be, I don't know if it's a definite thing, but I reckon by the end of the year, if it wasn't technically fixed, that we might see a community-driven comp pop out, and it might be similar to something like Swedish.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If we have no other pressure from GW, the community will end up coalescing on something that's more forgiving and functional.
Yeah, and that would either come in the case of either just changing. I don't know if it would change the percentage things. That's why I thought maybe Swedishy type thing might pop out again, where it's like, well, we actually want you to take this thing, but if you take the dragon, your comp's going to be, foobarred,
Yeah,
Swedish was
a real headache. I know in theory it's very functional, but in practice,
it's horrendous. But you know what happens? Someone over in Europe is just going to go do it. It'll just go. That's what happens. Or
it was an effective comp system. I must admit, it was effective for what it did. It just made its building incredibly painful.
Yeah, but they'd be able to make it a lot easier, I guess. New recruit and stuff. But anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, I guess so. But even then, it was hard to predict. Like you changed a couple of things around, and suddenly your comp score was completely different. And you're like, that was not the effect I realized that was going to have. Not as enjoyable as just filling with points.
Unless it's settled, like, I don't know, maybe there is something where you can just go, we're going to just community rule that characters is 40% of your army or something. Like that could solve some things, but it doesn't really solve infantry and stuff.
It doesn't solve infantry. It does solve some things, I agree. And it does bring armies back to more of an army look rather than just a few guys with a character. And I think there are definitely some very feasible rules changes that could bring infantry back, but I'm not sure if rules changes are necessarily in the scope of comp system.
I think that's got to come from G-Dub almost, and maybe that is. Maybe that's a tournament play where they say, hey, in tournaments, here's a match play thing we suggest. But I think that if they do that, it's PDF, and maybe they say, infantry get, their +1 to their rank bonuses, and they whatever, that type.
Yeah, because I mean that's essentially because otherwise, if they don't do it, then for a tournament organizer to do it, it's essentially a house rule that they have to add in.
Yeah,
basically.
Anyone got on other sort of community? What else will we see happen? What about growth? Do you think it's hard to put metrics on it? But I mean,
it is hard. I think it will continue to grow. I mean, the Arcane Journal's coming out for, especially High Elves and Wood Elves are extremely popular armies. So I think having model availability for those armies will definitely help. Not sure. The Beastbender have always been not as popular, but I think you'll still see continued growth. And then if they do have some big announcement nearer the end of the year, I think that will definitely push things forward as well.
Yeah.
I think the rules, from what I've heard, so obviously a couple of tournaments I've gone to, it's lunchtime, you do like the tournament walk around, and people are asking you about, oh, what are you playing? And you're like, oh, Old World, and people are like, oh, I've heard, there's a few problems with like, monsters being very, or Lion Hammer being a big thing. I think once that sort of gets ironed out a bit, which it kind of is to a certain degree, but kind of isn't. But once it is ironed out a little bit more, and I think the knowledge of that gets out to beyond the Old World community, I think you will see other people going in, because there was people go, oh yeah, like I've got an army, or I used to play, I'd be keen, but I've heard that, this and that. But a lot of that's like old news. So I think once that,
And the other thing is, like, what are they currently playing? Because, like, as I said, sitting on the sideline of 40K, it's like they've re-released the 10th edition 3 times now. Like the amount of changes that game had, and it had stopped its popularity. So, in terms of imbalance, I'm talking about. And I wouldn't even say Old World. Would you even say Old World is in balance? I don't think it is. It's just there's certain things you need to take. Otherwise, you're probably going to struggle to podium, but you could still easily. What army can't just comfortably probably sit in the middle tables, really? Skaven, maybe? Yeah. I don't know, like, unless you're a good player.
Just
Lisbon, probably those two. You know what I mean? In terms of if you weren't a really good player,
what were they?
Skaven and Skaven, maybe? Do you reckon? Like if you...
Yeah, maybe ogres would be on the tail end of that. But you'd be in a hard spot with Skaven and Lizardman.
Yeah. So like I wouldn't say it's an imbalanced game. It's just there's certain, like if you don't turn up with a level 4 like magic and really magic dispelling abilities and stuff and some then you're probably going to struggle. But you're not going to go 0-5 if you're a decent player still. Like you'll still.
Well, yeah, but if you turn up an Empire army that's all infantry and everyone's on foot, you're not going to have a good time.
Nah. Yeah, that one potentially not. But...
I think you can build into those. Like dwarves, you don't have to go a gun line for dwarves. I know it tends to suit a gun line, but I mean you have seen some people have success with, just triple marching and magic moves, and
that's the thing.
There's all these little rabbits out of the hat maneuvers that people are pulling out left, right, and center.
So that's the thing. So I'm just thinking, what I'm saying is I don't reckon it's a bit sad that it's just that it's 2024 or nearly 5 now. We're just used to like whatever's discovered is suddenly the main thing. We're just living in meta hammer, which is just normal now because the internet's around. And I think as
people get
old
lazy,
world,
don't they? They don't want to try new
not
things.
Used to it. Yeah. But if you went to AOS right now, I bet you they'll be saying, there's certain things that's just totally OP'd at the moment and blah, 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 blah. And
there is.
This is crap. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
That is, yeah.
What about, will we see any change in the standard points limits for the community driving towards? Like we've set 2K for a while, we're seeing a few lower, we're seeing a few higher. Do you reckon they'll change, or do you reckon they'll play around with comp more?
Comp seems like comp's the factor now.
Yeah,
we're seeing a few of these 2400s though in Australia. I wonder if that will.
Well, that's only because CanCon's 2400, therefore Axemaster was 2400 to emulate that. Like that was causing a bit.
And they did the 3-day, 3-day 2 games a day thing as well, so that wasn't rushed.
Yeah, so there's the sort of time you can do that for CanCon. I'm not sure that 2400. I mean, it's interesting to see how it plays, but I'm not anticipating it'll become a big thing.
Yeah, it's not a standard. It's a lot of points. It just seems like the TO's individual preference, which some TOs do. Like they're just like, TOs just do what the TOs want. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's just I'm organising it, so this is what you're getting to a certain degree.
I mean, we'll see how it plays. Like no one's really run a tournament at that size, so it'll be interesting to see what the effects are. I don't know. It's hard to predict. I mean, I wonder if something like 2250 or something like that will become a popular size. People have complained that 2K does seem a bit smallish, I think.
I was wondering with that, like some things would fit, you'd be able to do double stank and stuff like that might help those armies. But then you've got some other armies that just fundamentally broken where you can only take one of something. Is it the sland? You can only have one, for example. So therefore, it doesn't really help that if the points limits go up. It might. Maybe there's other break points in there that I don't know about that would help. But yeah,
I don't know. I feel like the game's just getting too long sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
I do. 2K just seems like it's a good size game, or even 1750, good size game.
Yeah, I feel like see what your experience is at 1750 while I'm doing 2400. So I'll see how we both feel about
these. Get all the toys in.
It would be interesting to see. It's not this one, but if, and I don't know where the math sits, but if it was that 1750, 1800, something like that, where what you've really done is you changed the character limit to say 40% or whatever. But what you've really done is just basically what you've done is you've gone in and taken a couple 100 points out of the character allotment and not put it anywhere else and said, okay, so characters now, you don't get as many characters, but everything else you get the same as 2K. And so therefore, does that make it more of an infantry game again? Do you know what I mean? Like I wonder if you can, if that's basically what 1800 or 1750 is, if you adjust the character allotment a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Andrew, but anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's back. Okay, well, let's just close this one out quickly. Any other rumors that you think outside of like future that, like we sort of discussed it already, but anything you're going to know by the end of the year, we've sort of said.
Yeah. I feel like we've discussed it a little bit. Yeah, that or a campaign book or a rules book. Or something to do with legacy armies. I think any of those are plausible.
Yeah. I'll just see if I've got any other here. Nah. The only thing I sort of brought this up. Hey, man, he's back.
Sorry, my parents moving the car. Might go.
Oh, and what happened? Oh, you had to give him.
My car was in the way of the driveway, so they had to move my car.
You had to move the Corolla to get to the Commodore to get to the Datsun. For those who get that reference, whatever it is.
A small portion of the audience, I feel like, will get that reference. We won't say what it is, so people have to search for it. Good luck.
And I didn't say it right, but people will get what I was meaning.
No, so does it make it even harder to Google it? Yes.
There is another rumor that we should know by the end of the year. That's guaranteed that we might know by the end of the year, and that there might be an Old World Fanatics tournament in 2026, maybe. They didn't even know about this.
What?
Do you reckon? I'm just saying it's a rumor that by the end of 2025, there could be something like Fanatics in the Vines or something like that. 2026, maybe.
I thought we were doing a mid 25, weren't we?
Well, it could be. It could even be earlier. I'm just saying. It might be. Maybe we are.
That's it. Josh is going to organise it from Victoria, and I mean, you'll be playing.
Yes.
Drive up again.
Let's do that. Yep. Let's do that. Maybe it will be earlier. Maybe it's 2025. Fanatics in the Vines, April 24. No, I don't know. I don't even know the dates. It's going to be at the Hunter Valley. It's good. There'll be red wine.
What is it? Sip and slay?
Instead of the Kamoma mug, it's just, you got a skull of 750 Shiraz. No, it's a different type of tournament. It's not a Castle Souls tournament.
No, it's wine glasses.
It's wine glasses.
Much more culture.
Gentleman game. Yep.
Yes.
I can't guarantee it might not be a cheap price, but it won't be expensive compared to the hobby. But it won't be, We want to make it different. I'm just saying this. You haven't even heard this, have you?
Wine.
I'm just like, I'm sure we can get some people on board with this. Cool. Anyway, that's the rumors. You heard it all here first.
The rumors.
We're getting on, but did you want to throw your list up or anything? Or do you want to cover that, or do you got to do it next week? No.
It's getting too late. And but that would be something that I'd love my listeners, our listeners, the Old World Fanatics listeners, and your input as well would be, if you're going to run goblins or hobgoblins with bows, what would you run? Would you run 2 units of 20 or 1 unit of 40? I just feel like a unit of 40 there's too many combo charges that could probably outdo its effectiveness. Where else, like, you got a little 60-point unit, it's not really worth chasing down to a certain degree.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, it becomes a target.
Yeah, a bit more of a target.
Can it be a poison 40 block or not?
Sorry?
They don't have a poison banner.
No, they're not poison.
No, yeah.
They're just got bows.
Yeah, 60
but then
short bow, 40 short bows without poisons, probably not going to do a whole lot.
Nah, but I mean, it's only 120 points.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Maybe that's a good thing. You shove it in. Shove it as fast as you shove. Have you got battle magic? Or demonology?
Dark,
demonology,
and elementalism.
So you can throw it across the board pretty good. Okay, well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
People with 120 points of nothing.
Yeah. No, well, people are talking about doing the what's the one that you did with your
spell? Yeah,
the TMP. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're talking about you can do it with like travel mystical pathways.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Do with the Chaos Dwarf. I was looking at with the blunderbuss. I was playing with that. Everyone's you do a 25 blunderbuss unit and TMP it and then shoot. Because I don't know if it counts as a move because it doesn't say it's actually moving for shooting. Right. So I'm not sure how that works.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, because you
can't in the rules, move. It says pick it up and then place it within 12 inches.
It actually says
anything about
you can't.
Moving.
Yeah, you can't actually use it on a unit that has moved. So I guess you could argue it hasn't moved. I don't know.
Well, that could be something for the audience because I mean, has it moved? It doesn't say anything about moving. I've looked at it. It says pick it up and place it within 12 inches.
The only thing is, I guess, is there anything in the conveyance area that says it's a conveyance spell? So therefore,
I've looked. I had a look at this one. Yeah. So let me know but anyway, I was looking at this because somebody's like, try this, and somebody else is like, yeah, try this, same thing, and it costs 500 points basically to get this unit on the board, and I'm just like, that is a big commitment for one unit, especially when most people are throwing 1,000 points into a character. I love it.
Well, yeah, and I think the other thing is, unless maybe I haven't looked at the stats, but the blunderbuss, like, you want to be taking some stuff off when you shoot it, not just wound something. You know what I mean? Like, when you're moving something else that can
delete units.
I've been map hammering.
I'm trying to work it out. I'm like, I don't feel like it's worth that's a large point commitment. Putting in 20 something blunderbusses, close to 30 blunderbuss unit. Anyway.
Cool. Oh well, that's our episode for the evening, and hopefully for those listening, probably the last or first of the year, depending on when you watch this stuff. Anything else, guys? Or others? I'll wrap up today's show.
The last sentence of Travel Mystical Pathway says the target friendly unit cannot move again during this movement phase.
Oh.
So there's a little counterpoint.
Again, because that means it's already moved. You can't not move again if you've okay.
If you've
I'd say that you've moved probably. Cool. You heard it here second. Okay. Anyway, thanks for listening to the whole episode. If you enjoy our weekly ramblings, and please leave a 5-star review on your podcast software of choice, or watch us on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, and comment on our videos. Jump over to patreon.com/oldworldfanatics if you want to jump on our Patreon. Until next time, guys. Thanks for listening to another Old World Fanatics and hanging out with us.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Next week. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Ciao.